Hi, I'm JimmyNavio. Hello and welcome everyone. My name is JimmyNavio. You have stumbled into another episode of Hit the Bucket. I'm using one of these dealies. I listened to one of my own podcasts, and every time I said a P, the world exploded. So I was like, I better get one of those things. So I got one of those things. I think it's called a pop filter. We'll see how it goes. I adjusted my levels a little bit too. I should be a little louder, but a little more clear. I don't know. We'll see. Show the toes. I'm super duper. Oh wait, before I jump into who our guest is today, a couple things. Number one, if you're listening to this on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, if you're out there checking out the podcast, friendly reminder, this show is recorded live on Twitch every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And so sometimes you might hear us randomly shout out a question or a name or something. It's because we're interacting with chat. If you want to come interact with chat, come join us. Twitch.tv/JimmyNavio. Also, the YouTube channel is still a thing. We put all these episodes on YouTube. There's a link down in the description now on the Twitch page. So go check that out. This video will be up there by Friday. And last but not least, just a reminder, this show does go out on, like I said, iTunes, Google Play, and now officially Spotify. You can go search for Hit the Bucket on Spotify and you can find this episode. You'll be able to search for Tropical Moisture, all one word, and the podcast will pop right up as soon as I get it uploaded. It usually takes a couple days. Like I said, try and get them up by Friday. So thank you guys if you're here from Tropical Moisture's community. If you haven't guessed, she is our guest of the evening. She will enlighten us. She will grace us with her wonder and her, I think she does origami. I watched some of her stuff. She's very entertaining, very high energy. I'm super excited to have her here. She is one of James's guests. He invited her and she said yes against her best judgment. So we're gonna grill her. We're gonna go deep. We found some details. She gave us some details, but we also found some details. So we're gonna see how it goes. I'm gonna bring them on right now. If you guys want to unmute yourselves. Whoa. Hey. It worked. How you guys doing?
Hi.
I'm doing good. How are you, Jimmy?
I'm well now that I got off the phone with my lawyer. Feeling much better.
Are you drinking gin and tonic?
No, I am drinking vodka soda with lime.
That's still an old man drink.
It's low calorie because I'm 34. My metabolism 22. Isn't what it used to be. Yeah, you're 22. Talk to me when you're 34 and we'll see if you're drinking vodka sodas.
He's trying to watch the weight. He was on a diet earlier.
I'm always on a diet. I'm perpetually on a diet because I never stick to anything. I can't even remember the last time I finished a game on stream. I start them and then I just move on. Anyway, Tropical Moisture. You were invited here. She's already dabbing. You youngins and your dabs.
Got a dab on the
So James told me about you and he's like, yeah, you know, she's interested in doing the podcast. I went and watched some of your clips and I was like, oh, God. My God.
Oh, no. Here we go.
I've seen some of those top clips.
One of them James actually took, I think, last night when you were...
Oh, is that a top clip now?
Yeah, no, you posted it and I saved it for today because we're going to show it to the people. I got a couple. I have two that I liked.
I was like, I thought I finally graduated to clip chimp.
Dude, imagine if you did, though. That'd be great.
So, Tropical, I hope I'm not doxing you too much. I found this all online in information that looks like you readily gave away. So your name is Lydia. Mm-hmm. A good name. But we're going to call you Tropical today.
Okay.
And you have a cat referred to as Cat-O. Cato.
Cato.
Cato. Oh,
Cato.
I didn't. Okay.
Like Cat-O. What does the O stand for?
What is your cat's actual... Is that your cat's actual name?
That's her real name.
Oh, wow.
It's a pet, Jimmy. You can call him whatever you want.
Her like on paper name is Maple, but she doesn't understand what a maple is. She only responds to Kato.
Kato. All right. That's a very cute cat. Where's Sam at? Where's that asshole was climbing around my desk all during setup, and now he's nowhere to be found. Lady Navio put him outside. Probably best that way. Let's see. Who's Huffy? A Huffy hedgehog affectionately named Chestnut. Is that a real hedgehog?
Yeah, she's in the cage behind me. Do you want me
it's
to
fine.
bring her out?
Maybe later. Oh, you know what I found interesting? You play League of Legends.
Yeah, I do.
A lot?
I used to a lot more. I got introduced into it season 6 and played the living hell out of it until this current season when they screwed it up.
What did they, in your opinion, what did they
shared opinion.
What did they screw up? I haven't played in a while, so I want to know.
They did so many rapid changes, like insane rapid changes, to where you would expect each patch to be like minor changes, minor stuff,
Yeah,
like,
incremental changes over time.
These were like gameplay changes where they would completely alter gameplay. They would remove items, bring in new items, change how ADCs work, change how this works. If you don't know, it ended up having Irelia, somebody who's typically played as a melee tank bruiser champion, playing an ADC, which is attack damage,
Glass
damage.
cannon.
Yeah, glass cannon.
Wow.
And so they were last hitting, and they were being the most damage of the team while still retaining that bruiser tank kind of game style as well. And it was just ridiculous. They broke it so hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have just bounced or aren't playing it as much.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
Plus, there was all that controversy, right? Aren't there a bunch
Recently,
of
yes.
sexist assholes? That's all. All the headlines
Not
make it sound
surprised.
like they're not a great company to work for.
You know, a team that balances that bad has some other internal problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful because I went to PAX, and so they caught some heat at PAX as well. Have you heard about that?
Maybe refresh my memory.
Okay.
I want to know.
All right, so at PAX, this was like a week after all the sexual allegations and bad sexist remarks were made
Sure.
against the company. So guess what they decided to do at PAX?
Wow.
They made women-only panels, and it was like women in gaming, and they also had this like post-it note board that was like, we support women in gaming.
So just
And
pandering super hard.
Yeah.
super hard. But the problem is that if you wanted to go in and you were male or you identified as male, they wouldn't allow you in to the panel.
Yeah, can't do that.
But like they're trying to be like, we're all inclusive. We want to make sure everybody's like taken care of and doing all that, and we love women. But then they do that, and it's like, it's not the same. Come on.
It's like now you're just excluding another group.
Yeah.
Like, how is that loving us?
They're screwing up so much. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of like YouTube ads and stuff. They're trying to push the game again.
Yeah. I mean, I was at the point where I was only playing ARAM anyway, so I don't really... I haven't followed the meta in a while. I
haven't played League in months. I don't miss it.
I played...
Got out at the right time.
Yeah. I played competitive early on.
Yeah.
Like maybe season 2, season 3. Down with cis white males. And then like they completely, every time they would do an update, they would completely change. I was a jungler, like that was my primary role. And I feel like every season the jungle just completely changed. And I was like, I have to relearn everything? Nah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of when I just started playing ARAM, because I just like team fighting. I like ganking and team fighting. I was like, one lane, let's just kill each other. That sounds fun.
That's what a lot of people do.
Yeah, I enjoy ARAM. I think that's why I also enjoyed games like Battle Right and stuff like that. I enjoy I don't like the grind as much. I don't like the, farming and the meta game as much. I just want to blow shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, I really enjoyed the climb, like learning how to improve myself and get to a higher rank and stuff.
Absolutely. What are you making? Are you doing origami?
Yeah, I've got to get through another 150 cranes. So I mean, for reference, it's been about 1 year since I started streaming, not quite. And I've made a promise to myself that I would do 1,000 cranes for every follow I got, up to 1,000. You know, the first 1,000, I'll say. And so now I'm on number 859 unfolding. So I have I mean, I know you guys listening. If you're listening, you won't be able to see it, but I have a jar. Oh,
that's cool. She has a big old jar of them.
Yeah.
So that's 800 something?
That's 853.
And you said your deadline is October 10th?
Yeah. So
you said that's like your official like year of how long you've been streaming? That's
like when I first started folding the cranes. And so the whole reason why it has to be a year is it's a Japanese tradition, like a legend. It's called Sinbarazu. And if you fold it within a year, 1,000 cranes, you get a wish granted, and my wish is to be a Twitch partner.
Ooh. There you go.
Yeah, so
is the wish granted immediately, or is it just like eventually that wish?
Yeah, like are you just gonna finish the final crane?
She's just gonna poof, she's gonna get an email.
Imagine if I did though, like that would be the best thing ever. I'd be like, whoa.
She finishes that last fold of the wing and then it just poof.
I would just start folding cranes for like everything else. I'd be like, all right, $1 million. Here we go.
This shit's for real. That's awesome. I'm actually going to work on one with you. I enjoy, I know how to make cranes. So
you do?
Yeah.
How big is your paper?
This big.
Damn. Mine is, I have the box.
Just for reference, Jimmy is 16 feet tall. So
okay.
No, I'm just using this little yellow notepad paper. So it's not actual origami paper, but I figured I would join you. I'll make a crane while we're chatting.
Okay, mine's 7 by 7 centimeters, so it's really small.
Then I'll mail it to you, and that's one less crane you have to do. Does that count, or do you have to? No,
it has to be like me folding it.
That's but
it's my sweat and tears.
Why can't shortcuts, Jimmy?
Why can't it be
you can't outsource the crane folding to China.
My friend Familiar wanted me to outsource it to China, and I was like, no.
But I love having friends do favors for me.
Boy.
It's just, it's a community wish, right? Everyone wants to see you become partners, so we can all make cranes together.
Okay, sure.
It's crane socialism.
Oh. It works out. If as long as I get be partnered, I'll be all right.
So, besides origami, you are a creative individual. What other creative shits do you enjoy?
I paint. I make paintings. I do digital art a lot. I don't know. I sew, embroidery, and I make stuff like bracelets. And I recently cosplayed. That was pretty weird. I never done that before.
Oh, like you recently did your first ever cosplay?
Yeah.
I saw those photos.
Yeah, I felt really pretty in it, and I don't normally feel pretty, so it was really fun. And everyone like coming up to me being like, "Oh my God, Soraka!" Like they told I was the character, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that's got to feel good when you're doing cosplay and they actually recognize what character you're.
Yeah.
I had people walking by and they were saying, "Oh, Soraka, you're so pretty," and I was like, "Oh." It was so fun. It was different.
That's awesome. Where did you do that at?
I went to Anime Expo. I went in Los Angeles.
Oh, the Los Angeles Anime Expo.
Yeah. So I live in Alabama, so I flew. It was a journey.
Yeah.
Yep.
How did that come about? Did you just decide I'm going this year and like?
Yeah. Last year my friend went, and I regretted not going with him because it was a thing. It was just kind of happened, you know. He went, and I had about a week to decide, and I said maybe I don't think I will, and he had so much fun, so I said, you know, no matter what, I'll go next year, and I did. So
yeah, that's about where I'm at with TwitchCon. I didn't go last year, and I knew people that went and saw pictures and everything, and I was like, damn it, I should have gone.
Well, are you
Yeah.
gonna go this year?
I am. So yeah.
I
Well,
can meet you.
yeah, we're all gonna hang out. Anyone listening to this podcast or watching on Twitch, I think what I'm gonna do is I might set up a channel in the Discord so we can coordinate like a meetup or something.
That'd be
We can
epic.
have one massive steak date. Buy out the entire restaurant.
Yeah,
I have that much money.
we're gonna party hardy. In fact, James is staying with me. I have a friend who lives in San Jose. So, because I'm from Central California, so
Yeah.
my buddy's going to school in San Jose, so he's letting us crash on his couch so we don't have to pay for a hotel.
Oh, that's epic.
Yeah, that's it. That's part of the reason I'm going. It may have been a harder choice, budget wise, but since I don't have to pay for room and board and I can blow all my money on parties, that's gonna
No, I'm the same way. I'm not paying a single thing.
nice. You didn't have to pay for your ticket. Oh, did your
No.
donations or?
No, I
Would
won
you
a
like
contest.
to explain?
Oh, that's right.
Contest?
You're the tank one, or the
Well, push it.
yeah.
Well, the
James, break it down.
Oh, okay. Well, essentially, what TropicalMoisture won was an all-expense paid trip, a sail to TwitchCon, if you would, from World of Warships. She was the only one that completed all 25 hours in 3 days.
No, there was 5 winners.
No, but you were the only one that did all of it in 3 days.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it was a lot. You had to stream 25 hours of the game. You did it in 3 days.
In 3 days, just like
Yeah.
It was like a 3-week-long event.
just blew
I
that
didn't
shit
know
out.
about it. I didn't know about it.
Mhm.
I was in PAX. I went to PAX in Seattle and I met with a streamer there called Feminelli. I can't. She's Fem. We'll call her Fem. And she's one of the top streamers. She's also a community coordinator for the warships.
Yeah.
She was giving out these little pins here. This is like a little Kraken pin, and I really wanted one because it's like, I don't know, moisture, whatever.
Fancy.
And she goes, "Oh, you're a streamer. You should do this." And she said, "Well, it's ending really soon. I don't know if you'll be able to do it." And I said, "Well, when is it ending?" It ended in 3 days from the time I came back home.
Wow.
So as soon as I came home, I did a 12-hour stream. It was awful.
That's awesome. All right, you ready?
For what? Oh, that's the moving one.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's alive.
Fancy.
I'm gonna sit it right here.
He's a
I
good
used
boy.
to know how to do that.
You know why I learned how to do origami?
Why?
Was it to impress a girl?
Yes. Half of
Uh-huh.
half of the half of the
Of
random
course.
skills that I possess were mostly to impress girls. I know how to play like 3 songs on the piano. All of them were learned specifically to impress girls, along with the origami. I can make a little flower too. I can make a really nice origami flower.
That's cool.
It's just those things you do.
Yeah.
Like, if I have these little tricks in my back pocket, they'll fall for me.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I mean, it didn't not work. I mean, it definitely helped more than it hurt. But
Hmm
as long
Like, I
as
learned how to.
And now you have a skill.
as long as you're not
You
weird
do,
about
yeah.
it, right? Like as long as you're not like
Let me show you how to. I can fold a crane. Want me to show you?
I learned this for you.
but I made 100 cranes for you. What do you mean you don't love me?
Oh god.
Yeah, as long as you don't get creepy with it. As long as it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you want it, and then you hand it to him, and that just the sly move.
Yeah.
Like I learned how to shuffle cards like super fast because I was like, just in case I need to shuffle cards, I know how. But also, if I'm at a party, someone brings out a deck of cards, I'm like, oh, I'll shuffle that for you, and then just
I
show
can't
off.
shuffle. I can't
See?
do it.
And those little skills come in handy for sure.
It's like most definitely I'll be like, I need someone to shuffle my cards, and James will be like in the corner, he'll be like, "Don't worry, my lady, for I have arrived."
Tips, Fedora.
Here you are, and you like shuffle.
I have an emote for that.
Ooh,
There you go.
my lady.
It's my milady Jimmy Gent. So let's move along a little bit. Do you have any creations handy? Things that you've sewn or knitted or
Yeah, they're like everywhere. What do you want to see?
I don't know.
Like that
Just
entire room is full of it.
show us something.
Like, do you want to see something like I'm really proud of?
Sure.
Okay. This is something I did on stream, and I'm really proud of it because it's like I've never done anything like realistic in my life.
Holy crap! What is that painted?
Yeah, it's painted with acrylic. I found the frame on like Hobby Lobby for like $1. It was $2. I was like, that would be a really cool thing. So then I painted a lobster. Something like a little bit more cartoony, something a little bit more my comfort zone is this. I painted this a few years ago, and it's a dinosaur, but it's not just a dinosaur. When you turn it, ooh.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looked like it was not flat.
It's a three-dimensional dino.
It's like a finger puppet dinosaur that I cut at an angle and then glued after I painted on the body. But when you're like looking at it straight ahead without any of this crazy like lighting, it looks like just normal.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So it was really hard like to color match, try and get it right, but I did it.
So what was it that got you into streaming? Like what, we were just sitting there one day watching someone and you're like, I can do this, or?
Pretty much. So I was playing League a lot. And I just wanted, my favorite, still my favorite League streamer is Sneaky, C9 Sneaky.
Oh, my favorite cosplayer.
Oh yeah, he also cosplays too. He cosplays girls, and it's pretty great actually.
Nice.
He pulls it off really well.
He's a very attractive woman.
He pulls it off. So I saw his Twitch stream, and I was kind of like amazed that I could talk to him through anything. Like one day I just said like he drank like something. He has 15,000 people in his chat, and I type, "What you drinking, Sneaky?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm drinking some water, tropical." And I was like, "Holy shit!" Like he responded. It was so weird because like it's so unaccessible usually to be able to talk to people, and now you can. You can talk to anyone you want, really.
Yeah, I think we all have that experience the first time we like are actually able to interact with the person on the other end. It's kind of addictive.
Yeah, and so from there I started watching smaller streamers, and I got this made this friend named Captain Kirk, and he had this really cool like IRL stream where he would have people call him, and he would do
like on
silly
the phone?
things. Yeah, he had a burner phone.
Oh, okay.
And they would call the burner phone, and he would have like I don't know, silly hotlines or whatever, and he would pretend to be a doctor or something like that, and it just like funny skits and stuff like that.
Sure.
But, he he had me on a Discord call when he was dyeing his hair pink because he got a dono goal for that. And
nice.
so he made me full screen, and I was the streamer for him
while he was dyeing his hair.
Yeah, and it was like my first ever stream, and I just kind of got addicted to like the way it felt, and I was like, oh, I could do this.
Power. The attention.
I couldn't stream when I lived in that place, so I had to wait. I waited a whole year before I could actually start streaming because I wanted to stream like 2 years ago, but I couldn't.
Were you at home or just in an environment where you weren't able to?
The internet was so bad at the place I was at.
Down in the rural farmland of Alabama.
Yeah, I had 10 down and like 1 or 2 up.
Oh yeah, no, that's not gonna cut it.
So it was like impossible. So I even tried. There's a few clips of me at my old apartment, and they're super blurry and it's choppy. It's awful. But now I've been streaming for a year here, and it's amazing. I hit 1,000 followers, and I have a little community. I met James. I met so many people that I care about. It's really fun.
All she had to do was plug her stream in someone else's community.
Yeah, and it's really, really cool how those things happen.
How did you find her, James?
Oh, it's like I said, she plugged her stream in someone else's community.
Well,
which I never do.
Who is that someone else? What happened?
He's actually someone I'm going to ask to be on the podcast at a later time, since October's pretty much filled. But it was a Mr. Painless Death 22. He was a support League streamer I watched all the time. Now he mainly does World of Warcraft because he like gets super tilted when he plays League on stream.
Yeah.
But one day I'm just, messing around in Discord as I always do. And there's a gray dot next to the server. I'm like, an unread message. What could that be? I click it. And I'm like, self-promotion. Who's the brave person doing that?
Nice.
So I click it and it says TropicalMoisture. And just from that name, I'm like, all right, I have to check out this stream. Because that's a name that you can't ignore.
Yeah, actually, that's funny you mentioned the name because the very first time that I've discovered who you were, James and I are friends on Twitch, and I always give him shit because you know how it'll tell you like James is watching blah blah blah.
Yeah.
If you're using the friend system on Twitch, and
yeah.
At least 70% of the time, James is watching a female streamer.
Ooh.
And
That's not my problem. That's just.
He says it's because of people hosting other people. He's like, dude, I don't know. I was lurking in there, and then it sent me to this
he was
other
watching
channel.
Painless, and Painless is a guy.
But anyway, one day I looked over and it said James is watching Tropical Moisture, and I screenshotted it, and I was like, caught you again. It was like Tropical Moisture, huh? I didn't even like actually click on your stream. I just saw the name, and I was like, Jesus, James.
Does it sound dirty to you? Some people say it sounds dirty.
The word moist is definitely a very polarizing word. I think for some people that word is just one of those words that just hits a certain chord,
Well, that's kind of why I like it. It the name itself grabs you right away. It's that people are like, you really named yourself Tropical Moisture, and you're like, yeah, I did. And that becomes kind of like a talking point, and you don't forget my name. I'll tell you that much.
That's true. Yeah, and the funny thing is, though, it is an actual term that's used like in weather. Like I googled tropical moisture, and all it was like a bunch of clips from weather channels and shit. Like
we have a lot of tropical moisture coming down from the Costa Rican islands.
Florida will experience tropical moisture this weekend. Like,
well, like my original league name was Abrupt Flatulence. And I liked the way it kind of like had that cadence to it where it was like a description and then a noun. So I was like, all right, I need to figure out something that is still cringy, but more like still polarizing, still cringy, but like more family friendly, You don't
want to go out giving business cards that say Abrupt Flatulence on it.
No. So I thought of the word moist, and I was like, well, that's a very opinionated word. I like that word, actually. It kind of cringes people out, and I cringe people out, so it fits. And like, well, what possibly, like, what description can you say for moist? And tropical came up, so.
Well, and it's interesting because you seem to have created. So did the name come first and then all of the branding around it? Because I noticed you got the shark surfing in the corner, you got the lobsters, you got the bubbles, you had all the other stuff. Was that just as a result of you got this name that you liked and then you kind of built a brand around that?
Yes and no. I've always been a fan of sea stuff. I love the ocean. Like my main in League of Legends is Nami. I've always been attracted to the ocean and being on a boat and stuff. I've always lived by the ocean, and so I already had a bunch of this stuff anyway, but then I kind of branded myself more towards that because of the name.
It was a natural progression.
Yeah, it worked really nicely.
Awesome. 1 second here.
Don't mind me, by the way. I need some gamer fuel.
Nah.
Well, that's not Mountain Dew.
Well, it's you're not supposed to. The podcast people listen. They don't know that.
Oh, I thought I paused that. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna pull up some clips here in a minute, but I wanted to make sure I got through all of my points. I've heard this joke a few times from James and other members of your community. Would you care to explain to us what a humble meme farmer does?
You just farm memes very humbly. Like what is there to explain? You're not a jackass about your memes. I am a memer. I reside with these memes. These memes are who I am.
Do you farm them and hoard them? Do you replant them and grow them?
Farmers always give their memes to their friends and family and to anyone that would like a meme, but they don't push them down their throats, you see. How humble.
Do you provide them with ample sunlight and water?
Plenty of moisture, of course.
And please tell me, Foxy Grandpa.
Yeah.
I saw that on your Twitter, and I said I have to ask her, what does this mean?
I just really want that hat from SpongeBob that says Foxy Grandpa on it.
Oh, okay.
I remember that.
Really want that hat. It's like a trucker hat with just white background and red blocky letters that just says Foxy Grandpa.
I'm sure you could probably find it. Have you?
It's
looked?
on Amazon for like $10. I just haven't bought it yet. I've always wanted one though.
You should probably get on that. Next time I watch your stream, I'm expecting you to be wearing that hat.
I'm kind of hoping it for my birthday, to be honest.
There you go.
I want that for my birthday.
Tex, if you're listening, if you're out there.
He's not listening. He's at work.
All right, before we get to the quick fire questions, there is one more thing that I wanted to bring up with you. It's something that you mentioned multiple times in our conversations leading up to the podcast. You mentioned that you are a huge advocate for mental health awareness.
Yes.
Would you care to kind of give your background on that and kind of speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I'd love to. So because I have this platform, I kind of realized that I have the ability and the means to reach out to people that need it the most. And I myself have depression and anxiety, and I've had that for a long time. And it's been really hard for me for the past few years to really admit that, and say like, yes, I do have that and I do need help and things like that. And it took Tex, my boyfriend, to really help me understand what I was going through. And once that happened, I started being more open about it. And I felt like the more I'm open about it online and my platform, the more I normalize those conditions and the more I break the stigma of, what depression is. Because a lot of people don't understand mental health disorders.
Just go outside, go for a walk, hit the gym. You'll be fine.
Go for a hike, breathe in the fresh air.
Do some exercise. Go to bed earlier.
But yeah, I encourage anyone if you are struggling to talk to someone, to a friend or a trusted professional, your doctor, and getting exercise and going outside, it does help. But the thing about depression is that it takes your ability to go outside, like it just makes everything so hard.
Right.
But once you are outside, those things do help. And so a lot of people that don't understand depression and anxiety, and they suggest those things. They are coming from a nice place in their own heart, saying, "Well, why don't you just do this? It's so easy." But to the depressed person, it's very hard to go outside and things like that.
Sure. Yeah. No. I actually, especially, I feel like I'm in control of it now. I've had my own mechanisms to deal with some minor depression and anxiety, but in high school, I was actually medicated for it. There were days where I just literally couldn't function.
Yeah.
And my parents, luckily, had because part of the problem with the stigma, and maybe, feel free to stop me at any point if I'm talking out of my ass, but
go ahead.
Part of the problem with mental illness is that there are no physical manifestations of it. And so a lot of times when a kid's, especially, depression is a real thing and it can manifest at a fairly young age. And a lot of time parents, that's what they do, go outside, skateboard, ride your bike, go hang out with your friends. And they don't realize that there's a legitimate chemical, physical imbalance, or there are legitimate things that need to be addressed. And luckily my parents were on the side of like saying, oh, there's something going on here, he is not himself. And they scheduled a doctor's appointment, and I was medicated, and I was very, very mildly medicated. Like the doctor was basically like, oh, if you feel these types of things happening, take half a pill or whatever and see if that helps, but I luckily was able to work through that because my parents recognized it as a legitimate concern. And I know that's not always the case though. Like there's, like you said, that stigma around mental health is really hard to overcome. Like a lot of people just don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And
especially if you're Hispanic, they're just like, mental health, that's not a real thing. Like,
cultural.
Dad.
Yeah.
It happened with my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like,
Same thing in the Asian community. A lot of it is hard work will pay off and things like that. And they're very strict on that. So if you do say that, my friend is Chinese American and her family is from China, and she's had a lot of trouble with her anxiety and her depression because they put a lot of pressure on her to be successful when sometimes she can't,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the physical manifestations, there are some symptoms that do happen as a result of depression. I'm sure you are aware of that. Personally speaking, I didn't know I had anxiety until about a year and a half ago. I was having these horrible, horrible, horrible stomach pains, and I thought I was going to pass out all the time, and I thought something was physically wrong with me. So I went to the doctor. They had so many blood tests, so many pregnancy tests. Let me tell you.
Oh, wow. They're like, it's just a hormone imbalance.
Yeah,
you're nauseous? Oh, you must be pregnant. I'm like, no, I swear I'm not pregnant. And then eventually I just kind of realized like this could be anxiety. And as soon as I take anxiety medication, my stomach, I still get anxious sometimes, but
sure.
Like the thing with that is that when you're nervous, your stomach produces more acids, and that eats away at the lining, and it can produce, ulcers and things like that. So it's a very real concern, if you experience those kind of things. Like it's scary. Like I didn't know what was wrong with me.
Yeah.
Going to the doctor and having them tell me, "Oh, you could be pregnant," made me even more anxious. And even more like my stomach was on fire. Like, oh God, what if I am? Like I know I'm not, but what if I am?
What if I'm the next Virgin Mary?
Yeah.
Because I know when I was younger, I didn't realize it at the time. But then as I grew up, I was like, oh, so that's probably what it was. Because I would go into like a class in middle school and be like, I really can't take this test. So my mom would be like, oh, you're fine. And then I go and then I just shut down. I'm vomiting. And I'm like, I was probably sick. Maybe I ate something bad the other day.
Yeah.
And then going forward, I'm like, oh, that explains it.
That explains everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, the more you know, like it's unfortunate that you don't know like immediately, but it's always a process and everybody's different. But the main thing is that once you do realize what could be going on, getting the help for it is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, and there are like you said, everyone's different. It's different scale for that, and that's the problem. Is there's no silver bullet. For me personally, I've been able to find my own mechanisms to kind of work through my anxiety. Things that help me. For me, the biggest one is controlling what I can control. Whenever I feel those anxious feelings coming on, what I tend to do is like the biggest one is cleaning. Like, like as soon as I feel those anxious feelings, I know that I can go do the dishes or like vacuum the living room because it makes me feel like I have control of something. Because a big part of anxiety is that feeling of like you not having control of the situation or not knowing the outcome or not knowing what happens next or just like, oh, like that's where a lot of my anxiety would come from. And so I've for me, like cleaning is a big one that helps. Or like I use mint.com to balance my budget. Like I'll get anxious and I'll vacuum the living room, I'll do the dishes, and then I'll sit down and I'll balance my checkbook. And like for whatever reason, little things like that I have control over help me like kind of put myself at ease with some of that stuff that I worry about that I don't necessarily have control over. Like, oh, what do they think about me? What happens at, like, I get nervous before every podcast. I usually take a shot because like like
I get that courage flowing.
Yeah. My living room is clean as fuck right now. I can tell you that.
My God.
Before this podcast started, I was like, all right, let's get things in order.
Now, I will mention too something if for anyone listening, it's different for everyone, but one very, very common thing that you can do, even if you're a little nervous about it, is just controlling your breathing, being aware of your breathing and controlling it very slowly in and very slowly out, and then thinking about like, oh, I'm going to think about my head to my toe, and you just kind of think, okay, I feel my head, I feel my nose, I feel my lips. You work your way up or down, and you just go all the way down. It's called scanning. And that is a very calming and controlling effect that's similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's something you have control over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good advice. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. James, unless you have any other questions, I think we're going to hit a few of these quick fire ones.
Nothing in particular. I was just going to say, I wish I didn't do this, but whenever I feel anxious to start playing video games, single player stuff, but it gets really bad because then by the time I'm calmed down, I'm like, oh, I'm actually enjoying this. And now it's been like 6 hours.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I have a paper due in 2 hours and all the anxiety comes back.
No, that's when the pressure is on. Now I start working at it really hard.
True. Yeah, you handle procrastination much better than I do.
I wish I didn't do it like that though.
That's part of my anxiety. Like I have to get things done immediately, or I will just like it'll eat up my brain. Like if there's something that I'm putting off, like I won't be able to do anything else until I get that done.
Well, like these cranes are stressing me out because I've got a week left and I got to fold like 150. It takes me 4 hours for 50 cranes. So that's a while, and I've been putting it off because I got a gaming PC.
Mm-hmm.
And I started playing games on stream and I was like, oh, these are so much fun. I don't want to do cranes. And then I got behind and now I'm feeling the pressure of like, oh, I gotta get these all done. And it is a stressor that I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're so close. I believe in you.
Thank you.
Are you sure you don't want me to mail you this one? I will.
Oh, I have a P.O. box, so.
Oh, you do? I've thought about getting one, but they seem kind of expensive, and I don't think I have enough people that actually want to send me shit.
Well, I don't think I have enough people to want to send me stuff, but I have a thing where you can actually, if you watch my stream enough, you can you get points for watching the stream. You can redeem certain items and things like that. I'll do certain stuff on stream or off stream. One of which is writing a letter. So, I gotta make friendship bracelets for some people. That's for like the big donators, and I write a letter, and so that's what I use it for the sending aspect.
Yeah, for like the return address as well.
Yeah, because I don't want to put my return address as my actual address.
Makes sense. All right,
people on the internet get really weird.
Yeah, you never know who they are until like you kind of talk to them for a while.
One moment they're asking for feet in chat. The next moment they show up at your door. It's dangerous.
That's scary.
Yeah, that whole thing about Dr. Disrespect's window getting shot out.
Oh yeah.
Like
multiple times.
Yeah, well, the first time his house was shot at, and the second time they broke his window.
That scares me so much.
Well, yeah, because it's like wife and kid and stuff. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
And then that swatting thing that happened like a few months ago.
Yeah, the swatting has been around since streaming has started, and it's that's definitely why I am JimmyNavio, because that's not my real name, and I do everything I can to not give away too much. Yeah,
I feel like I'm fairly open about my information and stuff, and it kind of scares me. Like I don't know how protected I truly am, but I think I'm okay. I think I'm fairly safe with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I try to keep it pretty
I'm aware.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
You just keep it vague. Don't play out all the cards.
Yeah. Some people don't want to tell them anything though, like their actual birthday or like, real name and things like that. It's even safer that way. But for me, I find like, just this is my name. Like it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my biggest thing that I do is I make sure that I try and disassociate the link between my online name and my real name. So If you Google my real name, you will not find anything. You'll find a bunch of other stuff about other people. If you Google JimmyNavio, you'll find everything about the online person that is me. But I mostly that's partially for employment reasons and partially for like doxing reasons and whatever. Like I essentially have two different names. And yeah, I try and keep that connection as separate as possible. But you know, everyone has their own level of discretion. A lot of online personalities just put their full real name out there, and they've never had a problem. I think I don't know. His name is Robert Paulson. Yes, exactly. So when you started streaming, what would you say your biggest challenge was when you got started?
Honestly, I didn't have the right equipment. I was using a really shitty webcam and I was using my headset mic on my thing. That didn't prevent me from providing like a good experience for the thing, but it certainly like made it to where someone coming in, it wasn't aesthetically pleasing. It wasn't a good time. And so that really I think deterred me from growing like super fast or anything like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, just starting fresh, I didn't have any streamer friends other than Captain Kirk, and he's fairly small as well. And I really started from nothing, and I've met everybody now. And I'm friends with a lot of streamers. It's so weird. I hope to make a lot of more friends at TwitchCon, and I don't know. It's really fun.
You could meet the whole download gang.
I know. I'm excited.
Yeah, there's gonna be. It's gonna be crazy. I have my bucket list of people that I would like to meet. But I'm excited just to, there's the DLC crew. Meeting James. I mean, he's my co-host. We've done 18 podcasts together, and we've never.
Oh, that's amazing.
We've never met in person, so that'll be pretty fun.
That's always really cool.
I was just a username in chat.
Yeah,
for the longest time.
And then,
how'd you find his podcast anyway?
Well, when he started, there was no podcast. The podcast is fairly recent. I've been doing it once a week for 18 weeks, but I've been streaming for 2.5 years. So I think we met through a game called Minion Masters, and we've kind of told this story before, but I learned more details recently because he told me I killed you. He kicked my ass really bad, and then he found my stream, and he's like, oh, this guy's kind of cool. So he ended up sticking around, and then I had approached a few people about projects that I wanted to start and stuff, and one day I just messaged James and I was like, hey, I want to do this podcast thing. I had him and Meshyf and Ninja Breadmon on the first podcast, and then I reached out to James and was like, "Hey, I really liked how that worked. You've got a good presence, a good voice. What would you think about being my co-host on the podcast?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" James is pretty easy-going.
He's just using me for my voice.
He does have a good voice. I feel like my voice is I mince my words, and it feels you know what I mean?
See, I think the same thing. People always tell me oh, you have a very soothing voice, you have a very good voice, but to me it's it doesn't sound that great. I think of good voice and I think of Morgan Freeman. I don't, especially since what were you gonna say? I think what you're about to say is what I'm about to say.
You hear yourself differently than other people.
Exactly.
So that's why when you hear a video of yourself, you're like, wait, what?
In his head he sounds like, hi guys.
It never grew up. But no, because I also hear my voice a lot because I do Twitch, I make YouTube videos, so I hear it a lot, and it's it doesn't sound, I don't get what the hype is.
You've got a nice I don't know.
Well, okay, so James, let's clarify. That's not the only reason I invited you to be my co-host. I also admire your ability to finish what you start. Even though, we make jokes about you being a procrastinator, you're well into your finance degree for accounting. You were top tier GM in Minion Masters, you've got a YouTube channel with, a significant number of subscribers. When you do something, you do it. And I knew that if I invited you to do the podcast and you agreed to do it, that it's something that you would take seriously and you would follow through on. So that was a big part of it too. Like I appreciate working with people who aren't flaky, who actually like do the shit that they say they're going to do. That's hard to find, honestly. Like it's really hard. It's hard to find people who actually follow up.
It's really frustrating when they don't.
Yeah. And I saw that. Like I knew that if James agreed to do it, that he would actually do what he said. And so, you know, the handsome looks and the sexy voice were just like, those are bonuses.
Cherry on top.
Yeah, exactly.
Still don't see it. Especially since I grew up, I was a pretty short and stout, chubby child.
Were you?
So when people compliment me, I'm like, is that a real compliment? Or is it? And then I remember back to being tricked as a middle schooler by those awful middle school girls. And it's like, or is it a trick?
Aw.
Still second guess it to this day.
Middle school frickin' sucks.
Yeah. It was a mixed bag for me, for sure. Because middle school is also when I discovered computers. So I have fond memories of middle school. Back on my 56K modem.
I would like ride my bike everywhere. That's one thing that I wish I could tap back into, is that, you know, I was out in nature like every day. And now like I haven't left my house in like, well, I left my house yesterday, but sometimes I won't leave it like 3 days. You know, I'll just be in the same house. You know, it makes me sad.
You need to grab your phone and do some live stream and go for a bike ride or for a walk through the woods.
Hey guys, and just like crash.
Just get a little mount. Just
Thanks for the bits, guys. Ugh.
Anyway, what is your favorite cuss word?
Mine?
Yep.
That's hard to say.
Gotta pick one. Like just boom. If you have to.
I don't know, like fuck maybe. Or like damn it, because then I can say it kind of funny. I could go, damn it.
There you go.
I go, damn.
Damn it.
Yeah, because I don't think you actually swear a lot on stream apart from fucking damn it.
Yeah, I don't really. Sometimes I'll say shit. Like if I like fall or something, it's kind of like a reflex. But I've been trying not to cuss as much, because there's more words you can say. Like you can expand your vocabulary. You know. Yeah.
Be creative with it.
Yeah. I don't know. And it does deter some people, because I am a woman. And some people really don't like to hear women cuss, which is stupid. It's fucking stupid, but it's, you know, it's just the way it is sometimes.
Meshyf disagrees. He says cussing rules. Also, Cobra Knight said fudging poo poo.
Oh.
Let's see. So if tomorrow you could wake up and have like any other skill set and just be great at something, career wise, what do you think you would do?
Artist.
Like
if I could be like a crazy good artist, I would like that. I feel like I'm an okay artist, but I mean, like, I've always wanted to be a concept artist or an animator for like Pixar or Disney. That's always been kind of like a pipe dream. I don't think I think I don't know. I think I'm too old for it now. You know, like
too old. You're only 22.
You have to be like in that stuff in high school, because you have to. I don't know.
Don't limit yourself.
I don't know.
I got my computer science degree when I was 30 years old.
Well, maybe it's not, but it's just, I don't know. That is the skill, is to be like an omega lol, like good artist.
Yeah.
You're going to live to be like 90. You have another 70 years.
True.
Yeah.
Advances in medicine. 40 is the new 20, don't you know?
Ooh.
Most people don't even find what they actually want to do until they're like 30.
Yeah. I think I kind of hit a gold mine with the streaming thing, because I'm a waitress right now, and I hate it so much. Yeah. I hate it. I love interacting with people, and that's the one thing about my job I enjoy, is helping other people make decisions and seeing their faces when they do bite into a good steak and they're like, oh, this is a fantastic anniversary or birthday, or family reunion or something. It's a really nice steakhouse, so people go for like those kind of stuff. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy making their time memorable and fun.
Right.
But
what about
streaming
when
is
you
different.
ask them if they would like the soup or salad, and then the dad responds with, "What's the super salad?"
What's the super salad? I love that joke so much. What's a super salad? Yeah.
You know what my grandpa's favorite joke was? When we would go to a restaurant, he'd say, "Can I take your picture?" And they'd be like, "Excuse me?" And be like, I'm thirsty. Can I have some water?" Like that was his. The waitress was always caught off guard because he's like, "Can I take your picture?"
Dude, I would be creeped out if some old man said that to me. I'd be like, "Oh, this guy he's creeping me out."
Yeah. So that was, dad jokes, grandpa jokes. I bet you get plenty of those working at a restaurant.
Yeah, you have to deal with the obviously I didn't like it, and their like plate is clean like every day.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, like their plate is clean and they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I didn't like it." And then you look at them and then they laugh like it's funny. And you're like,
"You're clever."
I get the joke. You really did like it. Okay, I'll tell this.
It's like, I work here. I get this a lot. You're very funny.
Yeah. What I don't like at all is when people joke around with my tip. They're like,
Ooh.
They'll say something like, "Oh, well, that's 20 cents off your tip. Ha ha ha." And you're like, "That's my income. Please don't joke about that."
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
Most tip jokes are stupid.
It's like, just give me my money, please.
Yeah.
I make minimum wage otherwise.
I make $2.
Do they hide it under, like, do they ever hide your tip, like a cash tip, under a pile of dirty dishes or something like that?
It's not a cafe or anything. It's a nice place. We've got like tables and stuff. So I haven't really experienced it like that. But I used to work at a diner, and when I did work at that diner, I'd see the tips in some pretty interesting places, like in their dirty like coffee cups and stuff. And you're like, what are you doing? It's like kind of soggy at the ends. You're like, okay, like what is this?
Rude.
But not everybody does that. I think
rude is what it is.
Normal.
So, Tropical.
Yeah.
What are you not very good at?
What am I not very good at? Just in general, I'm not good at like physical stuff at all.
Yeah.
You're very weak.
What the fuck?
But wait, you're a waitress though.
Yeah, you had to carry those trays around and shit.
I can do that. Like that's fine. But like sports, running, jumping, I can't jump very high. Like I'm good at dancing, but that's about it.
As seen on stream.
As seen on stream.
Yeah, you have endurance.
I gotta say, jumping, in reality, we don't jump. Name one time you ever thought, I wish I could really jump up this.
Dude, I saw a video on Twitter the other day of this guy doing a running jump, and he jumped over a freaking car, like long ways. He like hurtled, he hurtled over that. I was like,
but is it practical?
True.
I mean, it can be if you're running away from something.
Jumping is overrated unless you're a criminal.
Imagine chasing after someone and after just fucking jumps over a car.
Yeah, like if you have to actually hurdle obstacles, the only time I can think you'd have to do that is either you're fighting a war or you just stole some shit.
I'm also not very good at math. I got A's and B's in my math class, but I had to power through it. It was very difficult for me. Very difficult.
Yeah, the same here. You would think someone with a computer science degree would be good at math, but I only did the bare minimum. And
you think as the accountant, I'm good at math, which I am. But it's all super easy math. It's just plus and minus.
Yeah. Well, even that confuses me. Like when someone donates bits to my stream, that's Twitch's like currency that you can give a streamer.
Sure.
They're not like, actual money, but 100 bits is $1 pretty much. And so you have to convert this in your head. So someone donates 20,000 bits and you're like, is that $200 or is that like $20? Like, I don't like in my head, it like takes me a second. And sometimes I don't react like big enough. Sometimes I overreact. You know, I know it's easy.
Holy
simple
shit,
math.
20 bits.
Yeah, I'm like, wait.
Like, oh wait, you threw
getting
pennies
better
at me.
now.
Hold on.
Kind of get used to it, but still.
So I have one more question, and then we're gonna watch a couple clips.
Okay.
Room, desk, and car. Which one do you clean first?
My desk. Because I have to draw on it a lot. And so if I don't have like, if it's what I see. And if it's messy, like right now, it's pretty messy. I've got a bunch of stuff on it and I got to clean it soon. But this is where I primarily am. And if I'm not organized at my desk, then I'm not organized in anything.
And then what?
Then my room and then my car. I don't ever drive my car because me and Tex is my boyfriend. So he just drives all the time and I don't ever drive. So like my car, like I drive it like once a month.
Fair enough.
Pretty awful.
You know, you should clean Tex's car every once in a while since he drives you around everywhere.
You know, that would be nice. I think I should do it. I'm trying to think of nice things I can do for him, you know, like he does so many things for me and I feel like I don't do anything for him. So I gotta figure out how to make him feel special, you know?
Draw him a tasteful nude portraiture of him.
I don't think he'd like that.
Draw him like one of your French girls.
Ooh. Just put it on his desk. He'd like walk in and be like, what?
It is an interesting question, though. It's funny because every time it comes up on Reddit, like the classic, a girl will post on Reddit and this happened. It used to happen a lot more, but you'll see a thread and it'll say, my boyfriend's birthday is coming up. What should I do? Something special. And the top voted comment, guaranteed almost 100% of the time in one of those threads, when a girl's like, what should I do? Something nice. It's his birthday. You're like, I want to surprise him. Number one top answer every single time, steak and a blowjob.
Oh my God. I mean, it's not wrong.
I mean, men are simple creatures.
Yeah.
I think all of us are, to be honest, but
not the cat though. She's very complex.
That's a good answer though. Meshyf, I agree. All right. Well, hey, we have a couple fun clips. I'm going to switch over to my media view here. The first one was from a donation.
Ooh.
And it pretty much consists of one letter of the alphabet.
Oh, for some reason this clip started a trend. And I don't know why.
I always pick the top clip and then one that I like. But this one was the top clip, and it's pretty funny. It's silly, but I like it, so we're gonna play it.
Okay.
I like how you dance to it.
I was not expecting that change in cadence.
You go really hard and then you just break.
This is what you could expect over at her stream. Ooh, those low pitch ones. It's classic.
It goes on forever.
I know, it's good. It's really good. And the other one, James, my trusty co-host, actually clipped this one from last night.
Yeah, this was yesterday.
You got a couple tequilas inside you and had a little fun with some green paper. So
This
is what you could expect over a Tropical Moisture stream.
Oh my God.
And if you're listening to this on iTunes or whatever, you're gonna have to come watch this shit on YouTube because the audio does not do it justice. Let's enjoy.
How many shrimps do you have to eat before you make your skin turn pink? Eat too much and you'll get sick. Shrimps are pretty rich. Green or blue, show off your natural hue. Flamingo, If you're
Oh yeah.
that's cool too. You don't need to change. It's boring.
If you're not clicking the follow button on Tropical Moisture after that, you're What are you doing with your life?
What even is that song? I've heard it on your stream so many times, and it still doesn't make sense.
It's by Kuro Bonito. She's a British Japanese artist, and she incorporates her Japanese language and English language into one for like this kawaii cute kind of techno like fun music. So the lyrics are, how many shrimps do you have to eat before you make your skin turn pink? Eat too much and you'll get sick. Shrimps are pretty rich. And then it goes boop, 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 boop. You know, it doesn't make sense, but the whole vibe of the song is supposed to be like, just be yourself. So it's like, it doesn't matter if you're pink or blue or yellow or whatever, like it's okay. Just be who you are. Like that's the song like theme.
I thought it's shrimps are pretty rich. I could have sworn I thought it said shrimps are protein rich. Maybe. I
thought it was pretty rich. Like, I don't know. It might be protein. Pretty sure it's pretty rich.
Got it. I like it. That clip is gold.
Thank you.
That clip should have many more views.
I don't know. Last night, I just kind of, sometimes with my stream, I get frustrated with the usual, and I just think, oh, what do I want to do, you know? And I was like, I got some green paper, and I was like, I'm gonna make a mask out of this and transpose like different stuff on my face for the green screen. I was like, wait, I've got a lot of green paper, and then I just did that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned. I'll tell you that much.
But that's sometimes that's the best shit though. Like when you just wing it and do something crazy like that. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I watched a few of those clips from last night and I got a kick out of them. So
we just want to have fun.
Yeah, if the streamer's not having fun, you can really tell on stream. Like
that is true.
People, you know.
Yep.
You can tell.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I think we have gotten to know Tropical Moisture pretty well after those clips. We are going to take a quick break. And wait.
What?
Before the break, it is time for James' thing.
Oh, right.
We only have one this week. For those who don't know, we have a segment called Jumbotron James, where you can submit messages or short quotes or advertisements, whatever you want. You can submit them to the podcast, to my channel for James to read. So we had one submission this week from OS Spish. He submitted a message for our friend James. So James is going to get nice and close to his microphone and read that message in a slow and sultry voice for each one of you.
And keeping in theme with last week's submissions of making me say really stupid shit, this is OS Spish's message. Mr. Lister, the sister fister, Lister's sister, the fister resistor.
Nailed it.
And I've seen Spish. He streamed a couple times. I know who he is.
He knows you and he's gonna find you.
Oh, I will.
Feels bad when broadcasters for mature audiences. Don't feel bad, just be older.
Aylin is my little sister. Not IRL little sister, but my
stream little sister.
Stream little sister. We've known each other since for a few years. She's real sweet.
Nice. All right, guys, we're going to take a short break. When we come back from the break, it is time for some hot, fresh beef. We're going to watch some Meshyf's beef, and we're going to have ourselves a friendly little conversation about the beef. Tropical Moisture, I hope you have that link ready. I don't know if you downloaded it or if you got it.
Yeah, it's right here. I got the MP4.
All right. So we'll take a short break, and when we come back, Meshyf's beef is coming up. Make sure you guys mute yourself. Go do what you got to do. Hit the bucket, and we'll be back in a few minutes. So for those who don't know, here on the show, the first part of the show is dedicated to learning more about our guest. The second part of the show, our good friend Meshyf, twitch.tv/Meshyf, he creates a little video for us to watch. We call it Meshyf's Beef. He's an angry old man who's angry about silly things. So he's going to give us two topics. and we're going to debate which one is the bigger beef. So if you guys have that video up ready to go, usually we watch it all together. We have not watched this yet. We're watching it together for the first time. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, go, and we'll all hit play, and we'll all watch the beef at the same time. 1, 2, 3, go.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Chiefs Beef! Here we barbecue the beefiest of beefs to see which beef is Chiefs beef. We're down here, JTRHNB, our Studio Network Complex headquarters, bringing you today's hot, spicy beef. Here's your man with the beef, Meshyf!
Welcome everyone in the ring. I'm your host, Meshyf, bringing you today's hot and spicy beefs. What we do is we're going to put two beefs head to head, and I'm going to tell you at the very end which is the beefiest. But not before our guests, Tropical Moisture, Jimmy, and James in the chat have their chance to put in their 2 cents. And at the very end, I tell you why Jimmy's wrong. Now let's get to the first beef. Decals. Sad decals are the worst. You're driving to work. It's late. You're running behind. And you're stuck behind some asshole with an in loving memory sticker on there. And then all you're thinking about is, man, this guy's friend died. But the issue with the sad decals is nobody in the history of the world out of 7 billion people has ever said, the way I want to be remembered, the way I want people to know me, I want a sticker on the back of your 96 Trizell. Yeah, the one covered in Bondo and bird shit, that's the one. That's the way I want to be remembered. Nobody wants to have a sticker made and put on their fucking car, and that's the way they want to be remembered. And the amount of work that goes into getting this sticker on here is fucking mind-blowing to me. Because they had to go down to the mall, wait in line at the kiosk, tell the guy what they wanted, pay the $20, have it made, go home, clean up that little section, and then angle it just right. So my friend, he'll always be remembered on this 96 Trizell with Bondo and bird shit covering it. That's the way he wanted to go. That's the way he wants to be remembered. No. And you know what? If I ever find anyone out there in chat or Twitchland or wherever, if you're out there driving around when I die with an in-loving memory, Meshyf done diddly died on this date, we're going to have an issue. I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm going to become one. I'm going to come haunt your ass, and you're never going to sleep again until you take that fucking sticker off your car. Okay? That's why sad decals, you're the second beef. Self-checkout.
Uh-oh.
Now I know what you're thinking. Meshyf, how could self-checkout be bad? You hate the check stand charity that you got to go through, and this is your avenue to get away from that. It is, except for not really. Because what happens? The machines don't fucking work. In the worst case scenario, you're stuck behind some asshole that rolls up a whole cart full of shit, and he's taking forever, scanning in 40, 50 things. Boop, boop, boop. And all you got is the one thing. That's how you use self-checkout, by the way. One item. Maybe 2, maybe 3 if you're getting kind of crazy with it, but not a whole cart. Don't do that to everyone around you, okay? And what happens when you're waiting behind the guy, or you finally get your chance to go up, boop, unexpected item in bagging area. Yep. Or the item that you're purchasing isn't heavy enough to be detected, and the fucking machine doesn't work. So what do? You got to go, hey man, hey, can you come here? I need some help with this fucking thing. Oh yeah, sorry man, you having trouble with the self-checkout there? Yeah, it's broken. Oh yeah, these things never work. Hold on, let me go get my manager. Okay, I know. Thanks.
Nice.
So that's the scene that happens every single time. You got to call someone over. There's one person for 4 to 6 machines, and they're just bouncing all day. Bing, 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 trying to help people use the machines. When what they should have is just another check stand open. Okay? Just another check stand, because that person's going boom, 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 and they got you in and they got you out. And that's the way I want to go to the store and get handled. Okay? And
he wants to
I know
get
you're
handled.
Well, at the very least,
quick and
at the
easy.
very least, you don't get hit up for cash for a donation. Yes, you do. It's built into the POS. So what happens is you go to check out and you go to put in your card. They still fucking ask you for a donation. It's just the only thing is there's not some audible thing saying that you didn't donate or that you did donate. And that's the only saving grace, because you can just hit that no button as fast as you can and jam out of there. That's why this week's second beef is self-checkout. Chat, Tropical Moisture, I want to hear what you guys have to say about this week's beef. Which of the two is the beefiest?
All right, I paused it at 4:28.
All right, Troppy, pause it. Do not continue watching.
Okay.
Let me fix the volume real quick. Meshyf.
POS is point of sales, not piece of shit. Gotcha.
Yeah, we have a POS at work.
It's kind of both, though, right?
Yeah, it is.
Definitely.
All right, so Tropical Moisture, why don't you chime in first on this? What do you think? Out of
I don't mind self checkouts. Like, I don't even care if some asshole's in front of me with like a bunch of stuff, because I know that in a second, like usually they have like 3 or 4. So like in a second, one of those will be up. I like it because I don't have to, I don't know. Sometimes I don't like talking to the cashier. Sometimes it gives me anxiety. I like interacting with people, but sometimes, like, I'll be honest, like, I'll go to Walmart or whatever and I'll say, so how's your day, to the cashier? And the cashier will tell, oh, it's really, really bad, actually. And I'm like, okay. Like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah, you're just like, sir, I'm just trying to go through the motions. I didn't actually care.
Like, I actually do care about their day. And to hear that it was bad, like, bums me out.
Mm-hmm.
I think the in loving memory stickers, I get it if it was like they were part of like a biker gang or something. I understand if it was like
that's a stereotype.
What?
I'm just playing.
Oh no, but like, cause like that's their culture. It's like,
I know,
yeah,
just fucking
that, like car or whatever. But like,
we
for
ride
like,
or die on the road.
Yeah, like, but in general, like, I don't like, I get it for like police officers and stuff like that as well, but it still bums me out, and I don't really think it pays respect. I think it's just kind of weird.
Yeah, it is.
So
it is
if Kato died, you wouldn't go out and put a in loving memory of Kato on the back of your car that you never drive?
No one would know who Kato is. Like, what's the point?
Right. Yeah, I think that's part of the reason I'm like, those things always throw me off, is like 99.9% of the people that see that sticker or emblem have no idea who it is. And so it's
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, James?
I've seen them because I would sit in LA traffic sometimes. And then it's like I'm just scanning other vehicles, hoping traffic goes by. And I'm like, oh, look, someone died that they're commemorating on that car. And I'm like, why? Because I don't care for this person. I don't even know this person. And I don't think you care that much either, since you only thought about putting them on the back of your car. And that's how you're going to remember them. But self-checkout, I enjoy self-checkout because when I go into a store, I usually have like 15 items, like carton of eggs, carton of milk, just like a quart. I don't use a whole lot. Dozen eggs, like 8 packs of Totino's pizza rolls, but that's a whole other issue. And then I go in, I'm just like, beep, beep, I'm done. I'm in and out. But the thing I do really dislike is when they have an attendant there watching. It's like, I'm doing this so I don't get watched, because the local shop I go to, they don't have self-checkout. It's all people. So when I walk up to them, they're just like, oh, hi, how are you? I'm like, oh, I'm good. How are you? They say, good. They're like, are you a member? I'm like, no. We go through this every week. I'm not going to sign up. I pay for my stuff. I walk out. And the self-checkout is just, I go in, I get the stuff I want, and I'm out in like 5 minutes. Because I buy the same stuff every week.
So for you, the bigger beef for both of you so far is the decals, the sad decals.
Well, what about you?
God damn it,
Mr. Navio.
Why am I always the odd man out? So here's the thing. For me personally, sad Navino. Yeah. That Bishop girl throwback to the Uncle show. Uncle Joe show. He calls me JimmyNavio. I don't care about sad decals. If it makes them feel better about their loss, I usually when I approach the Chiefs beef, I think which one affects me more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess so. But
and for me personally, like, as annoying as the rip my cousin who got shot in a drive-by, like whatever. I don't give a shit. Like, if that helps you deal with your loss, putting a sticker on there makes you feel good about yourself and remind you of your cousin, fine, great, dandy. It's as annoying as it is to see them and be like, I don't know who that is. Why does it matter to me? It's I don't know. It doesn't affect my personal life that much, other than maybe if I'm in like on the 405 in like an hour like traffic jam and I have to read about someone's little sister who got toe cancer, like maybe. But otherwise, the one that affects me more, and there's a specific reason why it affects me more. Many of you know that I am an alcohol enthusiast. I don't have a problem. I just enjoy it. Guess what you can't buy at self-checkout?
Would it happen to be alcohol?
You cannot buy booze at self-checkout, at least not in California.
In Alabama, you can.
See?
They have to come over and check your ID, but you can.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
At least in my town, there's nowhere where you can go to a self-checkout and like buy a 12-pack of Blue Moon or some shit. And like that's the one useful thing that, because there's a lot of times where I'll go down to Food Max just to buy a case of beer or like a bottle of whiskey or something, and I have to get in line behind the lady with like 50 things in her cart. I can't go to self-checkout specifically because they do not allow you to check alcohol at the self-checkout. So for me personally, the self-checkout might be the bigger beef. Also, I think you said I don't like talking to cashiers. I have a lot of fun memories specifically from talking to cashiers. I think that might be the difference between like the whole introvert extrovert thing.
I love talking to cashiers, but sometimes there's the risk that they always like that they hate their life, and you're like, I don't know what to do. But that's the thing. But I do like talking to them.
But for me, that's a challenge. That's an opportunity to make their day better.
Oh no, I hate that. I have to rehearse the day as I walk up. The entire time I'm waiting, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take the stuff out of the cart, set it on the little conveyor belt. He's gonna ask me how my day's going. I'm gonna say good. I'm gonna ask him how's his day. He's gonna hit me with that, are you a member? I'm gonna tell him no, like every week. And then he's like, paper, plastic. I'm gonna say plastic. I'm gonna pay, and then I leave. But then sometimes they try to like be like, oh, so how's the weather? And I'm like, fuck, I didn't prepare for this situation. Like, is the weather crap? I like the rain. Well, what if he doesn't?
Self-checkout's great though if you're buying like a embarrassing item, like girly time supplies or whatever. Like you don't have to deal with like the embarrassment of, or like for a guy, I guess like condoms or something. Like
that's not embarrassing. That's life.
It's the guy that keeps buying 10 packs of Totino's pizza rolls every week.
I'm with Bishop Girl in chat. She says, I slam those tampons on the counter.
I don't know. I'm a little bit more like embarrassed.
As a man who's been married twice and almost 3 times, you guys like to remind me of that on a regular basis. Thank you, assholes. I have zero shame at this point in my life. I've bought all the things. I've bought the creams, the condoms, the tampons, the whatever it is. It doesn't matter. I agree with Bishop Girl. Just set it down with pride and be like, yeah, I'm a human being. Fuck you.
True.
But I don't know. For me personally, to share one anecdote. Recently, a few months ago, I was going through the checkout. And I forget what I was buying. It was just a few things. And yeah, I avoided the self-checkout probably because I was buying booze, like a bottle of wine or some liquor or something. And the lady at the register asked for my ID, and I handed it to her. And she said, boy, there's no way that you're 34 years old. She said, you don't look a day over 26. And I said, no, yeah, I'm 34. She's like, shoot. And she started asking me, what's your secret? And I said, I put lotion on my face every day. And we just ended up having this like 5-minute conversation. It was like 11 o'clock at night. And it was an awesome moment. I don't know. I still remember that to this day. Me and her just having this bonding experience over like, she asked me what lotion it was. And I was,
my God.
I was telling her it's the SPF 15 like age-defying whatever shits. I don't know. Like lotion is the face
Wrinkle
lotion is
eraser.
dude. Face lotion is the one thing that I spend good money on. I no joke. Twice a day I put lotion on my face because I live in the Central Valley of California. It's dry as fuck. Anyway, I have many fond memories having conversation with cashiers, and I don't know. I think it's one of those customer service things. It's part of the experience. There's
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say there's a reason I prefer shopping at Vons versus Food Max because like they still care about customer service. You might spend like 30 cents more for your pack of Totinos, but like
Too much.
but they're gonna check you out. They're gonna give you a smile. They're gonna like offer to walk you to your car. Like I don't know. I feel like there's something to be said for a good customer service experience. And so I think for me personally, the one that affects me more, I would have to go with self-checkout. I think, first of all, let me buy my booze. Second of all, it takes away the human element of it, which I actually really enjoy the human element. I love shopping. I love interacting with people. So I think self-checkout kind of taints that experience for me a little bit. So I'm sticking with self-checkout, and you two are going with sad decals.
Yeah.
All right. I'm at 428. I'm going to turn the volume back up so the audience can hear it here. Let's see. All right. And on go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Well, did you get it? Let's find out. Tropical Moisture, Jimmy, James, chat. I want to thank you all for putting in your input to figure out which of this week's beefs is the beefiest. Now, the final beef is self-checkout's the biggest beef because it is a broken promise. It's a great idea, but it doesn't work. It's the failed execution. Half the time, the things are empty because the people that
I finally got one, bitches.
Do you normally not get them?
I
Fuck
always
those
fail.
self-checkout machines.
He does.
They don't work. Then you see
Fails
some
very
poor
often.
soul, some poor bastard that hasn't figured out that these machines are garbage yet. And what do? They go over there and they start doing the ding, ding, ding. So bad for those people. They will eventually get that it doesn't work. Everyone knows this shit's over. So that's why self-checkout, you're the biggest beef of the week. See you next time.
All right.
I win.
We lost.
Yeah, we lost. At least we went down together, James.
I win.
I
It's-
kind of.
How many weeks have I been? What are you going to say, James?
I was thinking as Meshyf, like, which one does he hate more? And I was like, it's probably the self checkout, but I was like, I can't. The
I wasn't-
details bother me more.
I wasn't. Was the point to see what he thought was the beefiest or what I thought was the beefiest?
Well, so the point is, it's kind of both. So it's completely subjective, but there, according to Meshyf, there is a right answer.
Mm-hmm.
But I still
see, like, I think decals, but I knew that he thought because the way he talked about self checkout, he was so pissed.
Yeah. That's usually what happens.
yeah.
Lest us we forget the bean juice.
The bean juice, yes. Hashtag bean juice. Never forget. I'm still working on a T-shirt for bean juice. By the way, where that's gonna happen. He got really mad about bean juice. Meshyf finds ways to get. He's creatively angry. He gets mad about the silliest things, and it's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, congratulations to me. I am the one and only winner this week. I am proud of myself. Please hold your applause till the end. I'll sign pictures. $5 a selfie. Ninja Breadmon, Bella Bandit, thank you for being here. We have reached the final part of the evening. Tropical Moisture and James 28. They introduced me to a streamer.
Oh.
She was very excited to tell me about him. Finally, someone sub Nightbot. Woo!
Woo!
Good Tofu Friday. Thank you for that. No, but there is a streamer He uses a lot of crazy green screen overlay shit.
Oh no.
Mhm.
And
The
I
master of his craft.
I really haven't had much of a chance to check him out, but I want you guys to tell the people what they're missing out on, because I really want we're gonna have to dive into this.
All right.
hmm
Who? Anyone first?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, Tropical, as the person that was interviewed on his show.
Yeah.
Tell us about
All right. So
this
I
person.
I met this guy. I didn't meet him, but I found his stream 3 months ago, right? I kind of lurked for a while. He had around like 40 viewers at the time. Well, I checked back in very recently. I gave him a host. It was like, 15 or 20 people or something, like, all right. So he was really excited about it, and he goes, I'll have to interview you next time you come in. So I came in about a week and a half ago, I guess. I don't know, like a couple Sundays ago. And he interviewed me, and the way he does the interviews is he calls you on Discord, and he has a really cool overlay for it. But his stream, he dances, and he I just want to put this out there before you see any of the clips, before you see anything. People accuse him of editing it like post-op, but the thing is, it's live streaming. He's doing this all live. Nothing is planned. Nothing is whatever. He has these magnetic straps that he's made himself for his arm. He has these keypads, and he like programs all these hotkeys on his arm to do different scenes and different effects. And he dances to song requests from the chat. So he's really, he's got a lot of energy. He does it for like hours at a time.
And what is his name?
The Sushi Dragon.
The Sushi Dragon. We've been talking about this leading up to the stream. I had no idea who he was. James and Tropical Moisture was like, "Oh yeah, this guy's insane."
He's insane. He's gonna be like one of the biggest streamers on Twitch. Just watch.
He's a pioneer of his craft.
Yeah, he's crazy.
All right, I'm
Crazy
going to switch
crazy.
over to the media view, and I'm going to play this clip. There's 2 clips. I want to play this one first, just so
Right.
people can understand the caliber of.
Yeah, it's insane.
This is the Sushi Dragon. God dang it, Bobby! This clip has a copyright. All right, so this is the other one featuring our guest.
Oh, a nice dab there you got. Well,
Hey, Bob.
yeah,
Bob,
yeah.
have you ever seen something called a crab dab?
I have never. Can I
You've
see
never
that?
seen a
Yes.
crab dab?
Yes. Okay. Damn, that came out of nowhere. Go ahead.
Even he's like, wait a minute, this is weird.
Yeah, that's the greatest because I caught him off guard.
You caught him off guard at the crab dab. It's so good.
I'm sorry. Why did you do that? Are you okay with this being on live television?
Yeah, I do this shit all the time on stream.
Okay, well, damn, this is fucking awesome. Guys, please check out quality content.
Quality content.
Please check out her stream. It's Tropical Moisture. Can we do it? Oh, a nice dab there you
That
got.
was fantastic.
Yeah, so he's insane. So recently, like a couple days ago, he got hosted by Kit Boga, the IRL streamer that does scams.
Yeah.
He calls Indians scammers and Indian scammer companies and tries his best to basically keep the ruse going as long as he can, just to keep the.
Oh yeah, I love Kid Boga.
Yeah, he's awesome. Keep them off the streets and on his thing. Waste their time. So he hosted him for like 3K or something, and he held on. He was already streaming for like 6 hours at the time, and he streamed for another 5 hours after that. He streamed 13 hours with just as much intensity as you saw in the previous clip.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
And I don't know how he does that.
Mm-hmm. His computer crashed as well, and then
3 times.
And then he ended it only after he stepped on something sharp and his foot started bleeding.
Oh,
That's what it took to stop this man.
the mad lad.
Keep an eye on that guy. Up and comer.
He's just as crazy off the stream too. We've been talking off stream. We've been kind of we're kind of semi friends, I guess now. I don't know. I don't want to say we're friends when we're not,
Right.
But he's
We're
just
just buds.
as intense, It's great. I love it.
No, that was the way that you just like out of nowhere were just like boom with the crab hands. That was fantastic.
His timing on everything was
Yeah, he hit it with the transfer to like the audience laughter and stuff. Like he was on
like
point
the zoom
too.
in was
Yeah.
like perfect too.
It's awesome. Pro. So before we move on to other things, did y'all get the presidential alert on your phone today?
Well, I think everyone did.
I didn't, and I was severely disappointed.
How
Wait,
did
you
you not
didn't?
get it?
I didn't get it.
You're
I
like
was
one of
on
the only
Discord.
people that didn't.
I know. That's why I was disappointed. I saw the memes everywhere popping up, like Donald Trump adding everyone. And it's like, you're about to send a message to 50 million people. Are you sure you're gonna do this? I didn't get it.
Why
so
did you not get
disappointed.
it?
I don't know. As soon as it happened, and people put in Discord, like, hey, did you get it? I like checked my phone. I checked all my notifications. It wasn't there.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I was joking with everyone in the Discord about it. I was like, "Oh, did the president just at everyone?" I saw this thread on Reddit. It was pretty funny. This guy said, "I bet $1 that within 30 days Trump abuses the new emergency message system with trite nonsense." And he actually had people take him up on his bet. He's like, "Oh shit, I was just joking." But he actually did follow through, and he made the bet with like 2 or 3 people in chat.
So yeah, the United States could be under a nuclear attack. I'll never know. I'll never get the message.
no.
You just didn't. Your phone just straight didn't work. I want to bet this guy. I think he already said that he's done though.
I think I saw somewhere that it was like tried to be implemented earlier. Like they came up with the concept in like 2006, and it like took this long to get it right. To get it working.
It says right here, this guy said, "Who the fuck decided that giving Trump the ability to reply was a good idea?" And the reply to that says, "Obama did actually, and quite reasonably, since emergency television broadcasts reach a lower percentage of the population today." So like apparently it was an idea that began during the Obama administration, and it just didn't get implemented until now.
Because I know even people, which is why I was more severely disappointed, even people with voice over IP phones, they got messaged as well.
Yeah,
So it
Rathabong
really
said
reached
he got
the
one.
So like anything with like a callable phone number had to be integrated into that, which apparently still didn't fucking work because I didn't get it.
What about if you like had Skype, like, and you paid for Skype as a service? Like, don't they have like phone number for Skype?
Yeah, if you pay for it, you do get a phone number. That's a good question. Anyone out there with Skype get a Trump warning today?
Gonna wake up one day, go to class and be like, hey, where is everyone? And then I'll never know that everyone got evacuated.
Oh, James, you'll find out. Don't worry. I'll text you, James. Don't worry.
You dead, son. Every man for himself. When we were talking about that last week, if the zombie apocalypse happens, he's gonna throw kids at the zombies as bait. It's nobody's safe. What was that other? I'm trying to find that one that you posted, James, about.
Describe it.
Hold on, I'm almost there. Oh, you posted that link about the 911 call.
Oh, the Paradise PD.
Yeah, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about social marketing or like guerrilla marketing. Mm-hmm. So James posted this, and I was like, "Wait, that's not real, is it?" And it's a here. Let me switch over to the media view.
And how much trouble you could get?
It's a 911 call about a guy asking about meth. So anyway, I'll just play it, and then I want to talk about it because it is an interesting conversation.
Mm-hmm.
What's your emergency?
Hey man, yeah, I'm cooking something here. I was wondering how much trouble you could get in for meth.
And you've called the police to ask how illegal meth is?
Well, yeah, I figured if anyone would know, it'd be you guys.
Is this Darnell Bickham's of Cherrywood Road?
No, Darnell's not here right now. Can I take a message?
The police are on their way, Darnell.
Ah, shit, nuts. I mean, yeah, that's fine, 'cause nothing's wrong here sending me just cooking some meth. Ah, double nuts, I said it again.
See you soon, Darnell.
All right, it was great talking to you.
Good talking to you, too.
All right, see y'all in a little bit.
I love the shit nuts.
I mean, it's fine because nothing going wrong around here. Just cooking some meth. Oh, nuts! I did it again.
So it was a really funny clip, and at first I was like, "Wait, dude, there's no way this is real." And James said it's not. And James did some digging and some research. And what did you discover, James?
So in my research, which consisted of Googling Paradise PD, that's all I did. Because I was like, oh, that's the only thing here. If you Google Paradise PD, the show on Netflix, Paradise PD, just released the other day. And it coincided with when I saw the Reddit post of that same clip.
Oh.
It's guerrilla marketing.
Mm-hmm. And it's
Or
really
creative
good too.
marketing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
how do we reach these kids? That's how.
I mean,
Make a
it's
viral
like
video.
trying to get something viral, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was saying when I talked to James about it, I don't mind this type of marketing as long as it's creative and it provides some type of there was comedic value there. Whether it's fake or not, it was still funny.
Yeah.
And it wasn't intrusive. It didn't try and sell me anything. It was just a funny clip that was virally indirectly linked to this show. I appreciate that. I'd much rather that than fucking sitting through forced 40-second YouTube ads before I can watch the video I want to watch, even though I have ad blocks, so I don't watch any of them. But I don't know, this type of marketing I appreciate as long as it's original and creative and funny and adds value.
Mm-hmm. And then Breadmon in the chat notes, but are kids smart enough to Google it? But that's not the point. The point isn't to delve into research. It's so people see this. They're like, oh, that's hilarious. I can't believe that actually occurred. So they spread it around. So now the number of people that do Google it and find out about this show see it. So then when someone else says, oh, yeah, did you see the post that was being spread around about the guy making meth? They called the police. The people that did Google it will now go, oh, yeah, but that was fake. It's actually from a TV show. And it's a way of making everyone else do all the advertising from something else.
I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, do you feel like it's wrong?
I don't know. It's super smart.
If it's pulled off correctly, it's the most I look forward to that show because that means that they're smart enough to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The show is shitty. And yeah, that
Is
was
it?
awful. How dare you? I don't think so. I saw a short clip of it.
I haven't seen
That
it.
was on YouTube. So I might watch it, but I don't have the time this week. I just binged watch all of BoJack Horseman. So that took most of my time.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. So you guys seem to have something to say about BoJack Horseman, and I'm curious. I've never watched the show, but
Really?
I've always see it on Netflix, and people say it's good. But James, I might have to watch it now because James spoke very, very highly of it. What were you telling me, James?
I have a love-hate relationship with BoJack Horseman.
Yeah.
Because it's really good at portraying the problems in a realistic setting. But I don't like that it makes me look inward onto myself and being like, am I like this? Do I practice the same self-destructive tendencies, but I pretend that I don't have these problems? I do. How dare you? Don't make me understand this. I want to be entertained. But then it does it so well that you continue to watch, and I'm like, damn it. Stop making me seem like a bad person to myself.
It's an interesting idea. I've never seen the show, but what I do know about it is that it does deal with some real shit. but it does it in a way like when the main character is a horse and all the characters it's really easy to, because if it were a real show with real people, they wouldn't be able to get away with a lot of stuff that they get away with.
It'd be too depressing.
Right, exactly.
It's
Because it's like
watch
this
a show about a cynical asshole that hates himself but doesn't get help.
But
if he's
because there's the animation and the animal aspect to it, they can kind of get away with a lot of that shit. It's a really interesting approach to the whole thing. I don't know.
I think it's great. And I mean, especially with the mental health stuff, this season was a really great season for the possibility of redemption for BoJack, I think. He was told that he needed to get therapy and that he actually started to think about that for himself. And a lot of the characters, like, they're still in a bad spot, but they're looking inwards and they're deciding, they're growing as people, they're growing as characters. And that's something I really appreciate about the show. It's they're very fleshed out characters, very relatable, very every character would respond to something differently, and no two characters are quite the same, which is really, really cool for a little cartoon show. Like, that doesn't happen a lot.
And then they juxtapose it very well. For example, the latest season, there was whole parts just centered around Todd, one of the side characters, and, random antics and getting put into these weird situations. For example, he built a sex robot to please his ex-girlfriend because he was like, I'm asexual. So if I build you a sex robot you can have sex with, we can go out and you'll be satisfied in the relationship. But then that doesn't work out because she's like, that's really weird. Why would you do that? Sex robot later becomes CEO of a company. And he's like, guys, what the fuck? It's a robot that I built. He shouldn't be the CEO.
That's awesome.
So it contrasts the really dark storytelling and understanding what's going on with these really lighthearted moments. And then they touch on a lot of current events too, which is really good, but just all around the show is really good. I like it.
I will mention the first season was just very hard for me to watch. It was so boring, and you just hated BoJack so much, and it was needed looking back to kind of see who he was as a person, but it was really hard that first season to just watch it through. It's needed, but it's hard.
So you gotta endure the first season.
Yeah, then it gets a lot better.
It's kind of like when all your friends are telling you how great Black Mirror is, and then you watch the pig episode and you're like, what the fuck?
I haven't even seen that yet.
Dude, that's how I feel about Arrested Development. I feel like I love that show, and it's one of my favorite shows. But part of the charm of the show is knowing the characters and a lot of the inside jokes and all that stuff. So the first season is just barely setting the groundwork for the rest of the shenanigans. So it's hard to convince people. I think that's why that show didn't do so well, because you have to get over that initial hurdle. So maybe that I maybe I need to do that with BoJack Horseman. I just need to get over that initial hurdle, because I've been told multiple times that it's a good show, and every time I try and start watching it, I'm like, nah, there's something else I'd rather watch. So I gotta stick to it a little more and get to that point where I can dive deep.
And I think it gets you a lot because some of the characters you feel are people you might have known throughout your life.
Or yourself.
Yeah, or yourself, which I don't.
I mean, I relate to multiple characters on the show for different reasons. It's really kind of sad, like James was saying earlier, because, so the characters are kind of shitty.
Especially in the latest season, he wants this redemption, but it's, does he really want to get help, or is this more of his self-destructive behavior that now I should be punished for all this shitty stuff that I did?
Well, I think in the end, I think it truly is for himself.
Yeah.
I think for the end of the season, I think he finally is. But there's always the possibility of relapsing, and that's a very real problem. So,
and they present it in a very digestible format. Like as you said, it's the animal characters. It makes it work.
Yeah, I mean that's the same reason that South Park gets away with so much bullshit, right? Like if
Yeah.
if that show was all adults, people would be like, "Oh, this is unacceptable." But like the fact that it's like fifth graders like going through all this crazy shit, and they're just like these round, puffy characters cussing and doing all this craziness, like they can get away with a lot of stuff that like you probably wouldn't get away with if it was live action, you know?
Well, to be fair, there's been a lot of clashing with that show. A lot of people,
But they
you know,
still get away with it. Like 90% of the
but-
time, they still get away with it.
yeah, yeah. But I think it's because they make fun of everyone, so no one can feel like attacked. You know, it's like, well, why do you feel, you know, when this way when we've done it to every single other person?
Yeah, that's why. In fact, that's why. Fun fact: that's why Isaac Hayes left the show.
Which is that chef?
Chef, yeah,
Yeah.
because of the whole Scientology thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait a minute, we've given the Mormon shit, we've given the Catholic shit, we've given everyone shit, and the second we mess with Scientology, Isaac Hayes is like, no, I'm out. And so they had to write Chef off the show. He got torn apart by a bear and a lion in a cave. That's how they wrote him off the show. They're like, fuck you.
And it's funnier too when the way they mess with Scientology was they just presented it as it was.
Yeah, there
you're
wasn't
like-
Tom Cruise on that episode.
Yeah, and you're just like, what the fuck? This is actually Scientology? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun. But again, I think they get away with a lot of stuff because it's animated, because it's kids. Like, you know, it's different when a kid says some fucked up shit versus like an actual live action person. So like animation affords you some gray area, I think, which I'm all for it. I think it's good. If that's what it takes to push the envelope and to open dialogues and to create those narratives, then, you know, those are the tools that they will use.
Mm-hmm.
But Elon Musk had to step down.
Ooh, yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Had to leave his position in Tesla.
Oh.
Well, he's still CEO. He had to step down as chairman, which whatever the fuck that means.
So why did he
Chairman
step
of
down?
the board.
I'm a little ignorant on this particular.
So
subject.
he tried to take the company private. And he did it in a very he basically tweeted and said, "Hey, I'm taking the company private, and I've already talked to the other investors, and they're on board." Like he just kind of just decided that's what he was gonna do, and he thought it would be funny if it was $420 a share, as a joke, because he's fucking Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And yeah, the SEC and a lot of people were not too keen on that idea. So they were like, "No, you can't do that, bro." So yeah, they slapped him with some fines and there was some backlash. And he is no longer chairman of Tesla.
Yeah, because when you're dealing with that much money, there's a lot of stuff you can and cannot say about what you're going to do with your company.
Yeah, he never actually. So he tweeted that he had already discussed this with all the other shareholders, but when the SEC investigated, they're like, "You didn't talk to anyone."
Like you said, there were these Saudi investors that were fronting the money, and you don't have any.
The fines were nothing for him, true, but I think it's more just the message that it sends. Dude, I don't care what happens. I just want to go to Mars. Can I just go to Mars before I die?
Mars.
I want to go to Mars. So leave Elon alone, like Kanye said. Did you guys see that? Did you see that video where Kanye jumped up on a table and he said, "Leave Elon Musk alone"? This is very recent news. It was
the most recent one to me was when Kanye tweeted, we should amend the 13th Amendment."
No, this just happened. It was at a college. Apparently, it was like some college in Chicago. You can Google it real quick if you want. But Kanye West, somebody asked him a question about Elon Musk or something. He jumps up on a table like in the cafeteria and he starts defending. He's like, "You leave that man alone." It just like goes off and just like, you know, as Kanye does. The guy has a few screws loose, I think. You know, he's got some. We talked about mental health issues earlier in the evening, but Kanye is not stable. And
no, he's not, and he's had some problems. And I think that sometimes having a platform when you are mentally unstable can actually be a detriment for you, because you're not thinking clearly, or you're in this weird state or whatever, and then people hate on you or comment on your stuff, and it's like you can't really reflect on yourself. You can't really do anything but spiral.
Yeah, and who are you gonna go to for help? Like, you're Kanye. People are just gonna like tell you what you want.
A therapist, a professional.
He's not gonna pay for a therapist.
He has enough money. He could go to a therapist.
So did Bojack, Tropy. So did Bojack.
But he's surrounded by yes men, though. That's the problem. Is you get like your posse or whatever.
Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, not to interject myself in the conversation, but with streaming and stuff, I do not want yes men as my mods or yes men as my community, because it's like I want that what would you call that, commentary, back and forth feedback.
Yeah,
you know, because if everything you do is great, then what are you gonna, you know, who are you gonna be?
Right. No, yeah, I think it's important to have honest people.
Yeah.
You know,
someone to keep you grounded.
Absolutely.
Who would that be for Elon, and who would that be for Kanye?
Who's Elon dating? Grimes? I mean, probably not the best one, considering when he was tweeting, when Elon was making those tweets, he was like high off his ass. But I mean, that's probably someone that he looks at her opinion.
Did you see that though? As part of this article, there's going to be a lawyer assigned to reviewing his online activities. Like he's not.
Really?
He's not going to be able to. Let's see. Alongside the settlement, the SEC also charged Tesla with failing to have required disclosure. Blah blah blah. Let me find it. It's here. Just because harmful investment. I thought it was in that paragraph. Hold on. Oh, right here. The company will also hire a lawyer to monitor Musk's communications, including his tweets, according to the agreement. The total package of remedies and relief announced today are specifically designed to address the misconduct at issue by strengthening Tesla's corporate governance and oversight in order to protect investors. So there's literally like they're going to assign a lawyer to he can't just like tweet off some crazy bullshit about how the guy who rescued those kids was a pedophile or whatever.
Because especially Elon, his clout with his companies, he's basically the main reason that they're still alive, even though they're hemorrhaging so much money into research and development. Everything he says, people are like, "Yes, Elon. Yes, we're going to Mars," and then stock price rises.
Well, and that's a good and a bad thing, right? Like he's got these advocates, and it's like no matter what he says, it's just like, I mean, he's like fucking Jesus Christ to some people. Like no matter, like there's just a certain level of just worship surrounding him, just because he was able to land some rockets and do some cool shit. It's like he's still human. Like we can't. He still needs to be held accountable for the shit that he does.
But he doesn't think he's human though, because he thinks that we're all in a simulation.
You're right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where it all comes from.
He thinks this entire thing is a simulation, and that he said that there was like a 1 in a billion chance that we're actually real.
What if he's right though?
I know. What if he is?
I'm okay with that.
Fuck.
I don't know the difference. What the fuck do I?
Well, imagine we're just some shitty third graders science project from a different dimension.
Some
Just left.
some fourth dimensional being science project for high school.
Oh, that's awful.
But no, I don't know, because Joe Rogan, when he was on Joe Rogan's podcast, he smoked weed and everything.
Mhm.
They talked about that. He's like, "Are you an alien?" Like, just straight up was like, "You're not normal. There's something weird going on here."
Yeah, people say that, like how the only reason Elon wants to like go back to Mars is because that's where like he came from, and he's like trying to get back to his people.
Yeah, I don't know. I respect the dude. Don't get me wrong. Like, I have mad respect, and I really appreciate what he's trying to do. Like I'm more interested, honestly. Like his rockets and the whole like fucking tunnels under LA, all that stuff. That's cool. What I'm more interested in is the solar stuff that he's doing. Like, I think that has larger ramifications. Like, it hasn't been talked about as much, but he's got that whole thing where like you basically have a giant battery built into your walls in your house, and you have solar panels that store energy so you can become self-reliant. Like, I think solar and like improving battery technology is really what more time and energy should be spent on.
Mm-hmm. Batteries suck.
If you can solve the energy storage problem, that solves everything. Mm-hmm. Like, if eventually there's going to be some revolutionary like battery technology, or just solar's going to become so efficient that it's just going to charge everything. Like, I feel like we're really close. Like, we're on the verge of some crazy breakthrough with solar and battery like technology, and that's what excites me. I don't know. Like, the rockets are cool. Whatever. Yeah, sure. Let's go to Mars. I joke about it, but I don't know. I think there's a lot to be improved upon here on Earth first.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. I want my phone to last for 10 days.
It can.
I want
just stop using it as much.
Just don't use your phone. It'll last for days.
Ultra power saving mode. It only accepts calls. That's it. You can make calls, but only emergency calls.
I mean, true.
Shut off all essential systems.
But I like using my phone.
Yeah.
And Meshyf is obsessed with phone games. He's not gonna be. He wants a battery that will let him play phone games for 4 days straight.
Mm-hmm.
I thought my battery in my phone was going dead because I've had it for a couple years. It turns out that I just downloaded a few apps that were just constantly running in the background, like Twitter, and it like took so much battery. Like my battery, I thought, I mean, so much so I thought it was something wrong with it. I thought like it'd be like 40%, like at 2 hours into the day of me unplugging it for full charge. And it's just because of all these running backgrounds, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Yeah,
I had to completely uninstall. I mean, I barely used it anyway, but I had the Facebook app installed. I had to.
But it's creepy. They spy on you.
That app uses more power than any other app I've ever had on my phone.
Mm-hmm. So if you have the Facebook app, that you give them permission to go through your texts and like listen to your phone calls and stuff.
But it's so convenient.
No, it's weird.
Yeah, no, so the only thing I have installed now is the Messenger app, the Facebook Messenger, because I use that, like, I actually communicate with a lot of people through the Messenger app, but the actual Facebook app I uninstalled. And then I just check my Facebook, like, every couple days on my computer, but the app on my phone was just destroying my battery.
Mm-hmm.
I check Facebook, like, once a month, maybe. It's just my grandma posting now.
Yeah. Every time I check my Facebook, it's always like, oh, a distant relative sent you this. And it's like, I don't care.
The only thing I really use Facebook for now is bands and bars.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, like a lot of the local bands that I like, that I know and I'm friends with, like people that perform locally, they post their events on Facebook. And then a lot of the bars, like, or the local venues that have bands play, they have a Facebook page. So like I'll go on there and I'll see who's playing what night or whatever. And then like it's a good way, like for events. for events and for chat. That's like the only thing I use it for. I don't think I've looked at my wall in probably 4 months. The whole Facebook wall thing is just so toxic to me that I can't even bring myself to go to my own homepage on Facebook.
Do you remember a few years ago, like 2008 or something like that? Facebook had a competition, like beautiful teen contest, and all these teenagers were like posting their selfies, and it was like vote for me, and it was like a pageant but just for like your selfies, and it was the most like disgusting thing I think I've ever seen.
I do not remember that, but it sounds terrible.
Look it up. It was a big social thing because all these kids were like harshly judging each other and being like, don't vote for her, she's a fucking bitch, you know, stuff like that. And you're like, oh my god.
Look that up.
It's like TikTok right now.
Oh, TikTok. I look up cringe compilations all the time of that shit.
Because I had heard of it before, because most of the advertising is like adults, young adults, to like people in their 20s, young adults. And then I'm in live stream fails one day, and it's a streamer watching cringe compilations from TikTok. And I'm like, what the fuck are all these children doing in these videos? Like, this is really weird. This is creepy. But that's like something they just do often.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of weird memes that like go around in the community. Like they have this one that's like a song that's like, I don't know why bad boys like good girls or something like that, but it's supposed to be like the first half of the video is like really dorky, like you're supposed to make yourself look like a dork, and then you're supposed to like change into like this bad boy, and it's so cringy because like they're like addition of what a bad boy looks like to them, and they're just like licking their lips or something. You're like, oh god, get me away from it.
It's like, didn't have to deal with this back in the 2000s. It was just stay at home, be weird with your close circle of friends.
Yeah.
Now it's everywhere.
Man, I didn't even have the internet when I was a kid. This shit's like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I couldn't imagine being a kid today.
It's crazy. Like, you know, not to be Debbie Downer or anything, but like child predators and stuff like that's even more accessible now. It's crazy. It makes me like really upset that a lot of parents don't monitor their kids.
Yeah, like what
they're doing.
Watch what your children are doing. Like it's back when all those weird like Elsa Spider-Man videos were going out, and people were like, who watches these? And it's like, oh, I know one. My nephew does. Because every time I stumble on him, just cell phone, he's just watching those videos, and I'm like, what? Where is your mother? Why are you watching these?
At my job, like they'll have the kid at the table and they don't want to deal with the kid, so they just prop an iPad in front and it goes on autoplay on YouTube. They're just watching Kinder Surprise eggs open it up. You're like, oh damn, it's not good.
Well, yeah, and then there was that string of like really weird like kid videos that were like so inappropriate, but they were like being put out by some weird third party. Like, I think they traced it back to some Russian shit. I'm not sure, but it was like there are these AI generated like kid videos, and they dealt with some weird stuff like just like decapitation and like all this weird stuff, but it was like drawn cartoons like Mickey Mouse and stuff. And like there was like one where Minnie gets pregnant, and then like it's just like they were very, very strange. But the problem is the way the YouTube algorithm worked is that like it would just like keep playing those videos, you know, for little kids, and like parents don't pay attention to what their kids watching, and YouTube automatic just autoplay just starts playing through all these weird fucked up videos. Like you have to be really I feel like as a parent you have to be a lot more vigilant about that stuff now.
It's like, what happened when the worst thing a kid could stumble upon was Happy Tree Friends?
Oh yeah, well that was still pretty bad though.
At least it was a parody and it had a goal. These ones are just why.
Yeah, it's weird shit, man. I mean, when I was a kid, we had a tree house, and I think at one point one of the kids stole a Playboy from his dad that we hid in the tree house. Like that was pretty much the extent of our
And that was the treasure.
And now it's just like so readily available, all this weird twisted stuff. And I feel like it's one, like I don't even think looking at some boobs is that bad, but like some of this stuff now is just so like subtle and kind of twisted, and it deals with a lot of mature subject matter that kids just aren't prepared for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, compared to looking at a titty, like that, like you know what I mean? Like that's sure, whatever.
On Twitch chat in the just chatting section.
But
yeah, that's true.
It's weird, man. I don't know. Maybe,
I don't know. I think kids are forced to grow up way faster now, and it sucks because, like, I experienced it when I was a kid. Like, if you didn't know what sex was, when you're like in middle school or whatever, people would think that you're mentally challenged or something. Like, like not in the know. Like, they're like trying to make each other like grown up. Like, if you don't take a bunch of selfies or you don't wear makeup, or like you're not allowed to be a kid anymore.
Yeah,
because the kids don't want you to be a kid.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
We live in a society.
It'll be interesting to see what it does later on, though, because it's the first like couple generations that were born and raised with the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't know what the internet like without it.
Yeah, like I remember when I was a kid, there was no smartphones, there was no, I mean, digital cameras were revolutionary. I remember like we used to use when you went on vacation, you bought a disposable camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like you'd buy like 2 or 3 disposable cameras. I bought a waterproof one when my family went to Hawaii when I was like in 5th grade. And I took a bunch of really cool pictures, and then you got to take them to the photography place, and then it takes like days for them to be developed. And it's just so, I mean, everything was so much slower, and now it's all instant. And it's just like, how is that? I'm very curious to see what the next couple generations manifest as adults.
Oh no.
I do think
the dank meme.
I do think with the whole fast aspect of it, for instance, like Applebee's and stuff are dying out because the millennials don't appreciate
microwave food.
Microwave food, awful food, dumb service. But back in the 80s,
hey, they have
like,
Jello
in the
shots
90s,
at night though, so don't
That's
discredit
true.
the booze. I'm just saying.
But I'm just saying that, like, if it is super fast paced, then they're going to go the opposite way. They're gonna value long dinners and meditation and things like that, because that generation previous was all about fast.
Yeah, there is always like a revolt from the previous generation.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah, my parents did this, so I'm gonna do this.
Yeah,
maybe it'll go the other way.
Microwave food, I'm gonna get nice food.
My dad sits around on the computer all day. I'm gonna go out and ride my bike.
Yeah. It'd be like, son, don't you want to spend some quality time with your dad and play video games? No, Dad, I'm going outside.
No, Dad, I'm gonna go ride my bike in VR.
Computers are lame.
I mean, it could happen though. It could happen. Not maybe that extreme, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because we will be seeing those effects in these coming years. The people that have had it this entire time. Because it's like what other people are saying with the internet. The internet's like sort of leaving the wild, wild west portion of it. And finally like developing into something. Because for a lot of people, the internet is Facebook. They don't know anything else. So it's really like changing into a lot of these like huge mega sites that everyone goes into, and a lot of these smaller sites are just like disappearing because you don't know about them.
I don't know what it is, but in China they have something that is one centralized app that is everything. You use it to pay for your movie tickets. You use it to send money back and forth to your friends. You use it to communicate with your friends. It's like a Facebook, social media.
What's that?
Maybe, I don't know what it is, but they use it for everything in China. That's like the one-stop shop app for them.
Yeah, because I know I was studying this for one of my classes, how in India, if you ask an Indian what the difference between Facebook and the internet was, they would tell you a whole bunch of stuff. But if you told them that that Facebook is using the internet, they didn't understand what you meant, because they didn't realize that Facebook was something on the internet. They thought it was the internet.
What?
That's crazy.
Because like pretty much everyone, like 60% of all the people in India use WhatsApp and Messenger as their main way to communicate.
Wow. Yeah, like that's crazy. I remember, I remember news groups and IRC and like, Intensity and like the Pain Olympics. Like the fucking internet was the Wild West back then. And like, you discover these fucked up corners of the web and just like share them with your friends and stuff. I don't know, like it has been compartmentalized a lot more now. There still are those corners and there's the dark web and all that shit. But like you said, we're kind of coming out of the wild, wild west, and there's the services, there's the social stuff, there's the, media stuff, and it's all kind of being put into various boxes.
It's kind of sad though. I feel like a opportunity for growth and new development is shrinking. Have you heard of a website called Newgrounds before?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's classic.
That was made by
started.
Tom Foltz, I think. He made Newgrounds in basically his basement at HTML. He just wanted a place to where he could share with the world his Flash projects, and it was the first website that could easily share your projects with each other, and it blew up from there. And YouTube kind of took it over when Flash, it rendered so slowly. But I feel like that kind of aspect of I made this and now it's really popular and now I'm a millionaire is like, what are you going to do now? Like everything is privatized and it's really hard to get your foot out there, foot in the door.
Yeah, no, I just like I used to play games on Newgrounds, and another one was Congregate. Like I
that
played
was a good website.
Man, well, like you had a profile, and like so you could gain points across all the various games.
Yeah, you could have fans on your account that would be like, look at this guy, he's played so many games, and all these achievements. Because I was like level 87, thousands of achievements. People looked up to me, but then I quit that because I was like in middle school when that happened.
Yeah,
and then I started playing other games.
What about Homestar Runner?
Oh, Tunes Games, the email, dude.
Yeah,
I loved Homestar Runner. Like,
email Strongbad.
Strongbad email. I've watched every single episode. That's where Trogdor was born. Or that's where
Trogdor. They're making a board game.
The Cheat and Strong Sad and like the Poop Smith and like, oh my god, I have so many fond memories from.
What was the Marmalade? The girl's name? Love interest for Homestar.
Yeah, not Marmalade. It was something very close to that though. But my Marzipan. Yeah, my favorite episodes of that show. Like, go back and watch any of the Halloween episodes when they like dress up in their costumes and stuff. And that's where, like, every once in a while I'll make a joke about Fahodwa gods, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" That was a song that Strong Bad made, and it was a rap that he made with the Cheat. And there's a music video and everything. It's like, come on, Fahodwa gods, come on, Fahodwa gods, everybody to the limit. The Cheat is to the limit. Everybody, come on, Fahodwa gods. Like, I love Fahodwa gods. I could talk about Homestar Runner for days. I love that shit.
Wasn't he like a children's book at first?
I don't know. I thought it started as a webpage. And then they had like a puppet series for a while. Like they had like there was a whole hand puppet like show that they did. I don't know. It's so many classic moments. And then like in the Strong Bad emails, there were hidden links. Like every Strong Bad email, there were like
I remember that.
there was shit you could click on. Like it'd be a random thing like a bush or like something like during the episode, there were all these Easter eggs that you could click on. They would open up like these little secret corners.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. There's actually a wiki page that has a listing of all the episodes and like all the Easter eggs.
My favorite was the Teenage Girls Club. What was that called?
Oh, Teen Girl Squad.
Teen Girl Squad.
The ugly
What's her
one.
face? The ugly one.
Yeah, Teen Girl Squad is awesome. Yeah, Lady Navio is a fan of Teen Girl Squad. We talk about that occasionally. Like stuff like that, I feel like is going to become more and more rare, though. Like,
Yeah.
You're going to see it pop up on Reddit every once in a while.
Yeah.
You're going to try to go to the website. Websites crash because 80,000 people try to do it all at once.
I think Homestar Runner is still there, though. I think they have continued to maintain their hosting.
Really?
Yeah, let's look.
I think so. I know their Reddit is still like thriving. And I say still when that's like newer than them.
Is their website still the same where you could like refresh it and have like a different theme?
I think so. Let me look. We're going to go there right now. I got to zoom in a little bit.
Play a game.
I think it's still, yeah, here it is.
Send an email.
Let me away from this boulder.
Oh, wait, there's a way to change the theme though.
I think don't you just refresh the page? Isn't it a different theme depending on... Maybe not.
Play a game. Play a game.
I think there's a way.
Oh, down here, home pages. Here we go.
Email.
Email.
Yeah.
Download. Characters. Game.
They have 26 different front pages. I don't even know if I've seen all of these.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing to like change it.
Remember when every website looked like this? With just a bunch of buttons?
Like the buttons? Like the raised button? Like, what is that?
It's so good. 2000 to 2010. Is that the last time they made a video or anything? I would love to see a comeback of this. I think it'd be really cool if they made a... They did make some games, but they were just kind of like click adventures. I played a couple of them, but I don't know. I think there's still potential for stuff like this, but I don't know. Do you guys you guys probably don't even remember the last thing I'm going to mention about the old internet? There was this thing called web rings. Do you know what a web ring was?
I don't know what that is.
So back in the very, very early days of the internet, if you made a web page, it was really hard for your web page to be discovered because search engines were fucking garbage back then. There was Alta Vista. Google really wasn't a thing yet. There was like Yahoo, and they weren't very good at crawling the internet or indexing things. So what you would do to get views on your web page is you would join what was called a web ring. And a web ring was basically a linked list of websites that you could click through. So to become a part of a web ring, you agreed to put this little chunk of code at the bottom of your page so that if someone came to your page and they scrolled down, they would say, this is a part of the blah, blah, blah web ring. Click next to see the next website on this web ring. And so you'd be a part of like maybe 20 websites on a specific topic. They were usually topic centric. So like if you were into video games, there'd be like a Nintendo 64 web ring.
Mm-hmm.
And then so like you'd go to a website, and then when you were done with that website, you'd scroll down and it'd be like click next to see the next site on this web ring. It was a really weird because there was.
I mean, they had to figure it out though. Because it was there's nothing like the internet.
It was the only way to like get exposure for some people. And I was a part of I had a joke website when I was in high school or junior high, I think. I made a website that was just jokes. It's like your mom jokes and like All I did, I just compiled jokes into a couple different sections, and I had tabs and everything.
You were too far ahead of your time, Jimmy.
And I joined a humor web ring, and that's like how people would find my website.
Mhm.
Like web rings were a really interesting thing, and they were only iframes too. Yeah, like a lot of that stuff was really interesting, and we'll probably never see that. I don't know. Now it's just all these giant corporations that kind of control, the content.
Just large, basically content aggregators now.
Yeah.
That just like I don't have to go searching because all of it's going to get aggregated here for me by them humble karma farmers.
But I do feel like it's becoming more and more, I don't know, normie, commonplace. Like it's just like there's nothing unique like Homestar, There's not that much character in anything anymore. It's just like, look at this guy getting his kicked in the balls. Look at that. Like, it's not true content.
Fail compilations are art.
Okay. I mean, I can't say anything. I watch cringe videos all the time. Like that's pretty.
Well, I guess that's our job then. It's up to us to be the innovators and the content creators, right?
Yeah.
Where do you think Twitch is going to go?
You want to be
the change you want to see in the world. Isn't that what the smart people say? Where do I think Twitch is going to go?
Yeah, my friend thinks Twitch is going to die within 5 years.
Well, they definitely have some competition. There's Mixer, which Microsoft bought Mixer. And they've been able to pull some decent sized names and titles over there. YouTube gaming never really. I don't know. There's people that
it's a mess. That's why I stream on Twitch.
It's a weird ecosystem
on YouTube.
I don't know how to navigate it.
Yeah,
exactly.
I get confused because, I tried to see what it was about, but it's hard to navigate.
Yeah, if you even want to get to the YouTube gaming part, you have to jump through a bunch of hoops because it's like an entirely it's because at first they try to make it a separate thing from YouTube, and then they're like, oh, that's not going to work, so they just tacked it back on. So now just trying to figure it out is really weird.
Well, yeah, and because there's a difference between YouTube, there's YouTube live streaming and there's YouTube gaming live streaming, and they're two completely different things, which is like doesn't even make sense. I don't know.
I do appreciate YouTube's lack of TOS though, because it allows for some different stuff. Not to say that I want a bunch of bad things in my stream, but for instance, one guy he put himself in a room that he completely whited out with white paper, gave himself a pencil, a bed, sheets, and then his friend would come in with or he actually didn't have a friend coming in every once. He got rationed food. So he would have a bunch of water bottles and a bunch of ramen that he would make in his room, live stream the whole thing. And any donations would be text to speech and play. So a lot of people were trolling him when he was sleeping at 3 a.m. with this blaring ear rape song. Yeah, it's great. And so he'd wake up and you'd see him go, but Twitch doesn't allow you to sleep on stream. So that's a limitation,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is kind of cool that you could do something like that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, the largest thing Twitch has is just it was here first. So it has all the big names, but then as these other ones start to grow and their communities start to grow, and they do those other ones like Mixer and Facebook and YouTube, they do to pull people from Twitch by offering a lot of money. I used to watch Heisendong all the time for his challenger tier Heimerdonger gameplay, but then Facebook was like, we'll pay you a lot of money to stream on Facebook. So those other sites, once it becomes more attractive for other streamers, Twitch is gonna fall, but I don't think it's gonna disappear.
Facebook gaming, I can tell, is putting a lot of money. They had a huge booth at PAX. They had a streamer playing Fortnite, and they were broadcasting it, and it was pretty obnoxious. So
it just feels gross to even consider streaming on Facebook.
I know. know. It does.
And most people don't even know that's a thing. Like I just thought, oh, Heisendong doesn't stream anymore. Like I knew when I last was watching him, he was in college. So I was like, oh, maybe he decided to stop streaming, finish his degree, get a job, like doing what he was doing. And then I was like, oh no, he just streams on Facebook now. And I was like, oh, well, that's weird because now I don't want to go to Facebook just to watch Heisendong when everyone else is over here.
Wasn't there recently there was a controversy with that because there was it Counter-Strike, like ESL or something? There was a tournament. They had a contract to exclusively like stream it on Facebook, but then people who had access to the game, like through either they were they were like competitors in the game, or they were like spectators of the game or whatever. They restreamed it on Twitch, and then ESL, I think it was ESL, it was one of those major organizations, tried to like sue them and say that they couldn't do that, and Steam had to, or Valve had to step in and be like, no, like we have no rules about rebroadcasting. They're allowed to do that if they want. Like you can't tell them not to stream our game.
Yeah, because it was just they went in themselves. It was the raw like video game.
Yeah,
it wasn't like, let's rip their stream.
No, they just went into the client and like went into spectator mode or whatever and restreamed it on Facebook or on Twitch. And ESL or whoever it was got all pissed off because they're like, no, like people need to watch it on Facebook, and they're like, nah, we're good. and then the numbers on Twitch were like way higher because no one wants to fucking, like you said, like why would I subject myself to Facebook when someone's restreaming it on Twitch? I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a natural place for it. Twitch was always game centric. Like that's where they started. Yeah, they have creative stuff now and they've kind of branched out, but it's always been a game centric streaming platform. And I think that it will remain that way. And so I don't know. Mixer, I think, is interesting. I'm a fan of competition. I think, Mixer has done some
healthy.
Yeah, Mixer's done some things that has made Twitch kind of stop being like, dude, the problem with Twitch is like they're so popular that they kind of got stale there for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
They knew they were the big.
It's hard for any streamer to really get noticed too because everything's oversaturated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one incentive to try other platforms, I suppose. I streamed once on Mixer.
Really?
You broke the TOS.
No,
you can.
Affiliates can't stream on other
Yes, you can.
It's as
partners
long as you're
can't
not streaming at the same time.
At the same time.
Okay.
If you're a partner, you agree to only stream on Twitch. Affiliates can stream on other platforms, but not at the same time. So you can't use like those restreaming services that are out there that'll stream your shit to like 3 platforms at once. If you're an affiliate, you can't do that. The only two really strong rules for affiliates: 1, you can't stream on multiple platforms at the same time, and 2, you have to wait 24 hours before you upload any of your shit to another platform. So, like this podcast, I can't technically upload it to YouTube until Friday.
Yeah. And the benefit of becoming affiliate, and you'd say like, well, why do I have to just, I'll just not be an affiliate. Well, then you don't get access to bits and you don't get access to subscriptions, which is
remotes.
Yeah.
Or emotes.
Some income.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You just can't make money.
I mean, you can get PayPal donoed, but
yeah, but those get charged back.
Well, yeah, and subs give you like an anticipated that if your subs grow over time, that's a little bit more of a anticipated income over time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It helps you project going forward.
Right, exactly.
Especially with you, Tropical. It's like maybe you want to go full time, but how much money are we going to make in a few months? Well, maybe my subs are going at this rate, so I should expect this much more.
Yeah. If you are able to attain 300 subs and affiliates get 250 for every sub, 3 times 2 is 600, 700-ish, $700 a month from just subscriptions, no donations or anything. So you can pay some bills with that, but it's not particularly like run home, and
Yeah.
it's really hard to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you still probably need a day job at that point.
Yeah, it's really hard.
That's not even gonna pay your rent.
No.
Especially in California.
Right.
Maybe if you have like 4 roommates.
Right. Which,
I don't know,
if you have
it's-
4 roommates, they're not gonna let you stream at 2 in the morning. So
Yeah.
Which-
700 subs. That's like, okay, maybe I could do that. But at the moment, it's like without the gift subs, it's like I have maybe 20 people that are subbed. You know what I mean? So it's like 700 people versus 20 people, So there's that kind of discrepancy as to where like some people like say, well, why don't you just go full time? It's like, I can't.
It's not that easy.
I need money.
Uh-huh.
yeah, no. It's well, I still had that shit open. Yeah, no, it's you have to be realistic about it. I enjoy my day job. I do Twitch mostly as a hobby, especially the podcast thing. It's always been kind of a passion project for me, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy meeting people, learning about them, having these conversations. But like I have no like delusions of grandeur that like 6 months from now I'm going to be podcasting full time. If anything, like if that ever did happen, that's years away. Like and I'm okay with that. Like I have a stable job. I enjoy what I do, and this is just fun times. So as long as you approach it with the right attitude, I think that's one mistake that a lot of people make starting out with not just streaming, but any media centric endeavors. It's gonna be slow. Like it's something that you have to build over, years. And a lot of people just don't, they think, oh, I'm gonna start streaming and 6 months from now I'm gonna be partner and I'm gonna be famous. It's like, no, probably not. It's gonna take
Wouldn't that be nice though?
It's gonna take you a few years to even like build a community, but
yeah, like there was one guy like last year where he had a challenge, like get to partner status in 1 year. And then 8 months into it, he actually did it. Why? Because someone picked up on it, shared it everywhere. So now a whole bunch of people are like, oh wow, like this guy's trying to do this thing. So let's like pour him love and affection like at this time, giving him a huge boost.
Yeah.
So it's like in cases like that, that's like a super fast track way, but for everyone else that like you're just going slow and steady, it's super far away.
But that's, honestly, that's true of any business though. Like if you're like, back in my insurance days, I worked at State Farm in the claims department, and they were recruiting people to become agents, to be like insurance agents and open your own office and stuff. And like they were straight up about it. They're like, yeah, in 3 to 5 years, your company will be profitable. It's just like, that's kind of just how it is. Like you have to build from nothing. If you're a new agent and you don't have any clients, you have to go out and find them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people forget that part, that it is a lot of hard work and dedication.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
With anything new, like just make a restaurant. Why does anyone want to go to your new place?
Because we have chicken fingers. Duh.
But there's chicken fingers down the street.
Yeah, but mine are better.
Oh, see, but am I gonna walk in there and try them? No.
My chicken fingers are the best. Now I want chicken fingers. Where are we going for chicken fingers, Lady Navio?
Why are you guys calling them fingers when they're called tendies?
Maybe where you're from.
Where are my tendies, Mom?
Chicken tendies.
Hold on, and
mustard.
my boyfriend texted me. He has dinner, so I'm gonna pick it up and come right back.
Oh well,
are they the chicken
yeah,
tendies?
do it. She's gonna go get those tendies.
Mm-hmm. I say that because she actually had some the other day.
Or is it tendies or tindies?
It's a number of things: chicken fingers, chicken tenders, chicken tendies nuts. If you want to like make a meme out of it,
tendies nuts. That Bishop girl says they're called chicken titties.
Oh,
fried chicken titties. Oh.
Hello.
Did you bring enough for everyone?
Yeah, I don't think I can eat this much macaroni.
That's all right. I think we're coming to the close of our show, so we can
No,
finish.
it will never end.
No. We've been going for 3 hours. A solid 3 hours.
Dude, I'm used to like 8-hour streams. Come on.
I know, but if everyone has to download a 400 megabyte podcast because we couldn't shut the fuck up, they're not going to
just download a 48-hour podcast. Yeah.
But Tropical Moisture, it has been a ton of fun, and I hope you enjoyed your experience here on Hit the Bucket. Tell all your friends. We're actually booked for the rest of the month. This is the first time ever where we've had guests lined up for. I think we have for the next 3 or 4 weeks. We're gonna have a solid a showing.
That's exciting.
But my goal was for the first couple years to not have any repeat guests. But eventually, I have a list of alumni. So eventually, we're keep your lines open because we may.
I would most definitely, if given the invitation, I would love to come back. It's been really fun today.
And when you become partnered 3 months from now, don't forget us.
3 months? Come on.
Don't forget the little guys.
Yeah, hey, you know what? The origami wish is going to come true. It's just...
I really hope so. I've been working really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, no, thank you very much, Tropical Moisture, for responding to James's request to be on the podcast. I know it's kind of something different. Some people come in here and don't know what to expect, but I hope you enjoyed your experience. And for those who didn't catch it tonight, next Wednesday, every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/JimmyNavio. We do this live before we send it out. So come hang out with us sometime. And please go check out Tropical Moisture. Did you make all those tonight?
I have more. You want me to count?
How many did you make tonight? She's gonna count her.
All right, I was holding cranes the whole time, so let me.
While I plug her, she's gonna count them. So go to twitch.tv/Tropical Moisture. All one word. It's spelled how it sounds. She's awesome. Really fun content. Go give her some love. Go give her a follow, a like, a subscription. And she is... She's counting. I'm curious.
We're on 30.
Oh! Making
32,
progress tonight.
35. I folded 35.
35 cranes during the podcast.
Yeah,
I made one. He's right here. He's my buddy. I'm going to call him Frank.
He moves.
He's Frank the Crane. Hi, Frank. Say goodbye to Tropical Moisture. So,
thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Sure. Any parting words? Any plugs? Anything you want to say to the people?
I don't know. Just thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting this podcast. It means a lot to the creators. It means a lot to everybody involved. That's a really fun thing, and it's a passion project, obviously, that doesn't work without you guys, without the listeners. So thank you.
True. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. James.
I mean, just to hype up the next podcast, he's like JimmyNavio, but from Utah, basically.
He's Mormon? He is Mormon.
He's been on a mission to Brazil.
Woo!
It is Mr. You Heart Beast. Turn in to the next podcast.
That is awesome. He's a game developer too. Go check out his channel. You Heart Beast. He's a chill dude, and we're excited to have him next week. Also, friendly reminder, Jumbotron James, get those submissions in. If you want to have James read a message, an advertisement, a hi mom, a joke, a silly phrase or poem, submit those Jumbotron James submissions so we can hear James's sexy voice some more.
Where do we submit them?
So on my stream, I use the Streamlabs overlay. You earn ducats from watching, subbing, following, all that stuff. And you can spend your ducats to do various things. And one of those things is a Jumbotron James.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. I'm toying with other ways for people to submit messages in the future, either through email or donations or something, because I know not everyone participates in the Twitch atmosphere. So keep an eye out for that. But for now, if you want to submit a message, it's done through the Streamlabs overlay for a Jumbotron James message. We had Crispy plug his podcast last week. He was the guest on the show at last minute as a surprise. We invited him to be on the show after he had already plugged his own stream. So he looked like a real tool bag. But it was awesome. Crispy was a cool dude. All right, who are we going to host? Let's go raid somebody. Let's go drop some buckets. Mogabi's playing marbles. Who else we got? Oh, we got... Is Uncle Joe still on? I think I saw Uncle Joe. We've hosted him a couple times after podcasts. Oh, is he not on anymore? He was. Maybe he's gone now. Let's see. All right, we'll find someone to raid, but for now, we'll say good night and goodbye. James and Tropical, if you want to stick around for a second in the Zoom, we're going to do Frost a favor and get some snapshots, as I mentioned before. We're going to make Frost life a little bit easier. So thank you guys for being here. And please come back next week, Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, and we will have You Heart Beast with us. Have a good night, guys.